This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and that fire. Got my boy Tom Ross TV in the building. Tom Ross, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Tom Ross TV here to separate the wheat from the strong. Got some hot topics for you, so just sit back and relax.
That's what's up, man. First topic up. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. This topic right here, shout outs to Jordan 6-time Bishop. Motherfucker donated like he was motivated. He was like, nah, man, y'all, I want y'all to talk boxing, man. Now, this is not a boxing live. This is a multifaceted live. We talk about a litany of fucking topics. But because Jordan 6-time Bishop was motivated to donate at the level that he was motivated to donate at, you got to give him credit. And we're going to showcase to him the salute. But we still got an appetizer for you guys with Kanye West, Chaney Jones, and Kim Kardashian. We got some shit to laugh about. But let's first things first. Errol Spence has told the truth since the confrontation with Terence Crawford. He looked at this motherfucker dead ass in his damn face, and he said, "You too light in the ass. I will straight up stop you." He said that shit not once, not twice, but 3 times. And we know the number 3 means the number of confirmation. Now, here's the delineation, the distinction, the gulf and the separation. Spence is telling the truth. He said, look, after Ugas, because he's hold true to what he said in lording over and dominating 147. After Ugas, the last situation is I'm fighting Crawford. Now, if this motherfucker if he don't stop tucking tail, he step his Bud Crawford, rabbit ass up, I'm gonna fight him next. But if he doesn't, I'm moving my ass up to 154. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, which is funny as fuck, he's saying something that just nonsensical on both sides of the aisle. On one side of the aisle, he's saying, I'm going to fight the winner of Spence versus Ugas. If that was the case, you would have been stepped into the ring with Spence. You'd have been took your fucking 40%. Your fucking Dud Crawford, your Bud fucking Fraudford. The fuck is wrong with this Negro missing a few fucking screws? Then he goes and says something even more outlandish than that. He says, well, if I don't get Spence and Ugas, I'm going to fight the winner of Charlo and Castano. First and foremost, your rabbit ass never fought at 154. So you mean to tell me you're going to go all the way and skip the line and not do what you did at 147, which is build your body up and go and fight the champion at 154? You honestly believe you could step into the ring with the likes of Jamel Charlo? I haven't said this in a while, but I'm going to say it again. It's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, Ross, what's your take on this separation between the two dichotomies of what Errol Spence has said from day one and Terence Crawford?
I told people from the very beginning that Crawford never wanted to fight Spence. I told people that from the very beginning. When you want to fight somebody, you do things to make the fight easier.
Yep.
Not harder. When Pacquiao said it's been Bob Arum in the way of the fight, I want this fight, I didn't believe him until Pacquiao met with Mayweather and negotiated himself. When he did that, I said, you know what? Manny Pacquiao, maybe he wasn't lying. Yep. Maybe it was Bob Arum the whole time. But Crawford has not done that. Crawford has made the fight harder.
Yep.
Instead of going to PBC, a place where people are notoriously known to getting the money they deserve, you went to Bob Arum, where black fighters are notoriously known to get lowballed. Up into including Muhammad Ali. They made the Muhammad Ali act because he was getting lowballed and getting raped by Bob Arum.
Yep.
It's a whole law because of Bob Arum. You go there.
Remember, he was getting raped like a pilgrim because he was getting raped by Bob Arum and Don King. So he got double fucking rape.
Right. But Don King is no longer a factor anymore. That's why I'm bringing him up.
That's true.
And Don King, he got his fair share of criticism. Bob Arum still is under the radar as if he does good business.
Facts.
So that's why I'm rubbing his fucking face in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So you go there where no welterweights are, no welterweights worth fighting on, and you complain that you're not getting fights.
Hmm.
And and Al Heyman Al Heyman isn't paid to push your career.
Facts.
You chose to go with Bob Arum means it's Bob Arum's job to get you fights.
Mm-hmm.
You made a wrong choice, but you did that purposely. That's the reason why. That's the reason why when Spence. No. That's the reason why when it became readily apparent that Spence is the next fight for Bud. Bud started saying all this shit that he think he gonna go to 154 and fuck everything.
Facts.
Because he would rather go to 154 and lose and blame it on the fact that that was my first fight at 154. I could acclimate than to win and then to lose against Errol Spence while being undefeated. So
Yep.
basically, it's the same thing Kell Brook did.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing Kell Brook did. It's the same thing Amir Khan did. Amir Khan didn't want to lose to Kell Brook or to anybody at 147, so he took his ass up to fight Canelo. So then he could blame the rest of his career on the fact that he moved up too fast.
Yep.
These guys cared way more about their career and their legacy than a Floyd Mayweather ever did.
Facts.
Because if Crawford couldn't get the fights that he wanted, what was stopping him from going to 154 and getting those fights?
Yep.
Instead of crying and fighting trash fighters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Floyd did. When Floyd couldn't get the fight he won at 147, he went to 154, dominated 154.
Yep.
Why Crawford ain't do that? Because Crawford's not good as Floyd.
Facts.
Only great fighters could do that. Crawford's not great. He's very good. He's not great. If he was great, he would have went to where the competition was. But he went to where it would be easy to stand out.
Yep.
He was, and Top Rank is the easiest place for a black guy. Timothy Bradley stood out at Top Rank. And he's trash.
Knothead. Bullet fucking head.
He's trash. He stood out at Top Rank. It's easy to stand out at Top Rank because there ain't shit over there.
Exactly.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. People they don't want to admit this, but when they look at all of Terence Crawford's moves, it all goes back to the guy never really want this fight, and if he takes it, it'll be because he has no other choice.
Facts. I'm glad you said that because Terence Crawford is not following even the script of Top Rank Strange. You want to know what that is, Ross? These motherfuckers have dual fights. They have trilogies. They have courtlet fights. He's not even doing that. That's why Bob Arum has basically looked at Terence Crawford in his face and said, "You fucking nigger." That's what he's called him. You're not making me no fucking money. You're boring as fuck. Because let's be honest, Manny Pacquiao doesn't have fucking personality. Timothy Knothead, aka Bullethead Bradley, has no fucking personality. All these motherfuckers, Juan Manuel Marquez, they lack fucking personality. But why do we know them? How did they become household fucking names at their top ranked strange level? They fought not one time, not two times. They fought 3 times and they done it with a triangle of each other. This is what Bud was supposed to fucking do too. This Kell Brook fight, that shit should have been a triangle. It should have been 3 fights. If we're being honest with ourselves. And the fight is not being a paid to lose, nosedive affair. It's a 3-fight fight. Sean Porter is a 3-fight fight. If Sean Porter is not being paid to lose and it's not a nosedive, we're talking about 3 fights. If Bob Arum gets 3 fights out of both of those situations, guess what? Terence Crawford is now gone from boring status to somewhat marketable. He's still boring as fuck. He's still outdated as fuck with his style. He's still a Negro that's missing 2 fucking screws. But guess what? He becomes relevant. Because every time you take a fight into a second fight, you take it into a third fight, what ends up happening? It's business 101, supply and demand. If you're going to make it a second fight, people are going to be more interested, right? The second time around, because the first fight was close. Then if you make it a third fight, people are going to be like, well, shit, we need to know who's the definitive winner. I've said this before and I will say it again. Terence Crawford is that Negro that gets out of the bed, doesn't brush his fucking teeth. And like TK Kirkland said, who raised you? Where the fuck do they do that at? And just wants to go into the Spence and Crawford fight and fight. Earl the True Spence is doing all the heavyweight lifting. Your
Right.
Dennis Ugas is now being discredited. You got motherfuckers saying, well, Connor Ben. Who the fuck is Connor Ben? The only motherfucker that could dismantle Earl, that could dismantle you, Dennis Ugas, is Earl the True Spence. You Dennis Ugas put Manny Pacquiao in a goo goo gaga state. Jinky was trying to feed this motherfucker, and his mouth was going like this. While the food was coming, the mouth went that way, and while the food went, the mouth went that way. That's
Right.
a person whose cognitive functioning, whose neural linguistic programming has been re-fucking arranged by right hand leads after right hand leads. They even went as far as to say that your Dennis Ugas engaged in Santeria. Santeria is voodoo. They said that shit. This is how much they didn't want to give you Dennis Ugas credit. All these fucking Pactars that was saying Earl the True Spence is gonna get beat up by Manny Pacquiao, and they saw that you Dennis Ugas beat the shit out of Manny Pacquiao. They were thinking in their brain, well, damn, if you Dennis Ugas did this shit to Manny Pacquiao, I wonder how this fight was gonna end up with Spence. Spence was gonna kill him.
Spence was gonna put that motherfucker on a stretcher.
You gonna put that bitch in a stretcher. And then they want to sit here and say, well, Spence got a retina in sparring. This is how you could tell boxing fans don't know shit about the sport. Spence has a retina in sparring. Mike Tyson has got knocked the fuck out. You're one of your favorite fighters in sparring plenty of times. Lennox Lewis has got knocked the fuck out plenty of times.
Niggas began whooped and sparring, man. Niggas be sparring all day.
Mm-hmm.
You
So what the
spar
fuck are y'all talking about?
You spar 8-9 different people. One of them motherfuckers gonna whoop your ass.
Especially when you just coming back into the gym after taking so much time off. Your reflexes ain't fucking same. A lot of these motherfuckers don't know the shit they talking about.
That's
when
the
they
reason why you
boxing.
spar. So you can get beat up and get sharp so you don't get beat up on TV.
Exactly. And regain your fucking reflexes. That's why when Floyd fought Earl the True Spence, what did he say after that? When he brought him back. And then I became Floyd Mayweather. Because his reflexes was off. Like a motherfucker. Especially coming out of jail.
You had to get it
This
back.
shit was off like a motherfucker. And he fighting a Spence that's an animal that's in shape, ready to fucking go. See, this is what people got to understand, Ross. And it's very fucking clear. One fighter has been speaking the same language since day fucking one, and that's Spence. Like he told Crawford, clean up your side of the fucking street. Crawford is such a dumb Negro missing a few fucking screws. He didn't even understand what clean up your side of the street means. It means do your fucking work. Do your heavyweight lifting. Because I'm going to do my heavyweight lifting. I'm going to do my job. Do your fucking job. Bring something of equity and value. This is what business transaction is all about. I bring a namesake. I'm bringing value. I'm bringing Texas. I'm bringing AT&T. I'm bringing Jerry Jones. I'm bringing the Dallas Cowboys. I'm bringing D-Town. I'm bringing DeSoto. I'm bringing my Southern swag. Well, bring your fucking Omaha, Nebraskan, boring fucking ass. Bring something. Well, shit. You know, Omaha, Nebraska, it has one motherfucker over there that got swag. His ass ain't even black. His name is Warren Buffett. I would have thought that Terence Crawford would have sat down with Warren Buffett and asked Warren Buffett a long fucking time ago, how do I get some swag? Because a motherfucker can get some swag. You can learn some swag. He should have sat his ass down with Warren Buffett and said, look, I'm boring as fuck. I'm a Negro that's missing a few fucking screws.
Man, Warren Buffett don't want to sit down. Warren Buffett don't want to sit down with no motherfucking Terence Crawford. He ain't no real nigga like that.
But you know, the other day Warren Buffett sat down with Terence Crawford and was like, and you know why he sat down with him? Not because he cared about him, but he sat down with him because he said, "You from my city." So meaning Warren Buffett wanted to rep the city right.
Okay.
So all he had to fucking do was say, "Okay, this motherfucker want to sit down with me. Let me learn a thing or two on how he got the Berkshire and Hathaway. Let me learn a thing or two how he got this shit going. Let me learn a thing or two about his swag." You can say what you want about Warren Buffett, but when Warren Buffett's in the room, motherfucker got swag. You know his ass is in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford could learn a thing or two from that shit. No, his ass want to sit there and have Big fucking Mac be his promoter / manager. And let's be honest here, Ross. That motherfucker is rapaging Terence Crawford. And you know how I know he's rapaging him? Every time you see Bo Mac, no, Big fucking Mac. Is this motherfucker not getting fatter every time you see this motherfucker? Clearly, the money is going to the box.
Bomac gains 15 pounds every interview.
Facts.
At the beginning of the interview, he's not as big as he is at the end of the interview. He gets fatter
Exactly.
as he talks.
Exactly. Let's be honest. Since because I did a picture of him when he first had Terence Crawford all the way up until now. That motherfucker's been rapaging Terence Crawford because every time Bob Arum says something, he steps in and was like, "Well, yeah, Bob's right." Even in the confrontation, when Bob was talking, you say he was talking over Spence. You the fucking trainer / promoter. You ain't supposed to be in that confrontation. That confrontation is supposed to be between Spence and Terence Crawford. What the fuck you trying to be P. Diddy all up in the fucking videos, trying to get your namesake out? It's supposed to be Spence versus Crawford. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. This is not just a Bob Arum problem. This is why you could tell boxing fans are dumb as shit. And that's why I get even a nerve talking fucking boxing these days. Bomac is also the other fucking problem too. And if Terence Crawford was paying attention, he would see that he has a double fold problem. All Terence Crawford had to do was tell Bomac, look, I ain't no longer working with your ass no more. You could be my trainer, but you ain't going to be my fucking manager. I'm going to take my ass over to PBC, and I'm going to let Al Heyman finesse the situation. I'm boring as fuck, but Al Heyman and his team, they know how to market me, even though I don't know how to run my fucking mouth. You know what they would have done for Terence Crawford right now and his career? I told people this shit from day one, Ross, and you could testify to this shit.
First thing they would have did, they would have fed him Keith Thurman. Mm-hmm. Go up in there and beat the shot of Keith Thurman, man. Take all his fans.
Yeah.
They would have fed him a real name.
Yeah.
He been over there on Top Rank. How long? He ain't fought nobody real yet.
Nobody. And you know what's the funny part about it, Ross? You've heard me say this on Wax. I'm the biggest Errol the True Spence fan. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. If Bud was at PBC, they would have promoted him better than they would have promoted Spence. You want to know why? They would have said he was undisputed at 140. You give a guy with the business shrewdness of Al Heyman the ability to market you as being 140 undisputed. Bob Arum don't know how to market shit. Al Heyman would have had Terence Crawford looking so big right now. It's not even funny.
Bob Arum don't market. He know how to do it. He refused to do it. And he only do it for Lomachenko and Tyson Fury. He don't do it for black fighters. He expect you to do it yourself. That's why Mayweather left.
Yep.
If I'm gonna be doing this shit, I might as well just be my own manager. Yep. I might as well be my own boss if I'm gonna do your job for you. That's why he left.
The only black fighter that he did it for, the only two black fighters that he did it for, but that's because they forced his hand, was Muhammad Ali.
But Muhammad Ali should promote himself.
Exactly.
With his mouth.
Exactly.
He promote himself with his mouth.
And Sugar Ray Leonard too. Yeah. Sugar Ray Leonard said, I'm gonna force myself to retire if I don't get the Roberto Duran. He didn't want to fight no other fight. He had to force the hand. Look, I'm coming back. The only way I'm coming back is y'all give me Roberto Duran again. Just like you got to force your hand with Bob Arum. The only motherfucker I see that's doing that right now, Ross, is Shakur Stevenson. That's why Shakur Stevenson is getting what he wants. That's why he got the Oscar Valdez. Shakur Stevenson got the Oscar Valdez fight by forcing Bob Arum's hand, running his fucking mouth.
That he got lucky too.
Yep.
Shakur Stevenson is very fortunate that he has, because he ain't the smart. It's Jay Prince. That's the smart guy.
Oh yeah.
That goes without saying. Jay Prince forced the issue because Terence Crawford made a vulnerability within Bob Arum when he did that lawsuit. So in that time, if you push for something in that time, you're a black fighter, you kind of twisted Bob Arum's arm, because now if you don't do it, it's like, see, as soon as that shit went down, Jay Prince said, man, Jay Prince started going on Twitter saying, I think Shakir need a Valdez fight. Next you know, Shakir had a fucking Valdez fight. That shit like that don't never happen that easy with Bob Arum. Never. Yep. It never happens that easy. Bob Arum was in the hot water, so he had to play ball.
Yep.
He had to play ball. But this is what I don't like about that situation. Cause I held Terence Crawford down because he was right. Bob Arum is a fucking crook. What I don't like about the situation is Crawford only doing that so he could have time to stall.
Mm-hmm.
Crawford don't really want to fight Errol Spence. They're gonna have to force him to fight him. I'm telling you. Just like they had to force him to fight Sean Porter.
Yep.
They had to force him to fight Sean Porter. The shit had to go to purse bids. When you want to fight a guy, it don't go to purse bids.
Mm-hmm.
How many fights you heard of Mayweather going to purse bids?
Mm-hmm.
No, man. When you really want to fight a guy, you make it happen. This shit had to go to purse bids because he ain't want to fight Porter.
Facts.
Did we know Kenny Porter was in on the take and he stopped the fight early?
Yep.
Because Sean Porter definitely wasn't hurt. He was more hurt after the Errol Spence drop than he was after that Terence Crawford shit.
Exactly.
And he still fought the rest of the fight, so he wasn't hurt. They rigged that fight.
Yep. And I'm glad you said that shit, man, because now we're gonna say it real quick. We got 10 motherfuckers up in here. Y'all know the drill. We giving y'all that heat and that fire. We separating the weak from the strong. Donate to motivate. Put it up. He knows everything's Cash App. Money sign, that heat and that fire. Send your best. Cash App. Tom Ross TV Venmo at Thomas-Ross-43. We looking for $200 donation by the end of this fucking live. So 100 for He Knows and 100 for Tom Ross. So make sure y'all send that shit to both our Cash Apps and Venmo. 100 each. That's what we looking for. We're giving you guys great content. Donate to fucking motivate. And y'all can split that shit. So 11 y'all motherfuckers in there. Split that shit $10 each. I don't give a flying fuck. Make sure y'all donate to fucking motivate. Because we giving you guys that heat and that fire. Y'all should be able to do that. Jordan, 6-time Bishop yesterday, by himself, donated $100. We know y'all motherfuckers are good for it because we seen y'all motherfuckers go on other platforms, say salute and drop $100. So y'all could drop money up in this shit. Anyways, let's get back to regular scheduled broadcast. When it's all said and done, the biggest thing, Ross, is this. Terence Crawford has had 2 fights with Spence leftovers. This is how you could tell fight fans they full of shit. And the reason why I say they full of shit is because he fought those guys after Spence beat the shit out of those guys and mangled them. I'm not impressed by that. Kell Brook has no longer been the same fighter after Spence basically made him do the boys to men bended knee in the 10th round. Sean Porter's no longer the same fighter after Spence beat him up in the 11th round. Sean Porter testified and admitted this shit at the end on his podcast. They asked him, they grilled him. The thing with Sean Porter is when you box that motherfucker to the wall, he will tell the truth. Yeah, and they boxed his ass to the wall and they said, which fight was more devastating? And he said the most devastating fight, the fight that took more shit out of me was the Spence fight. He told the truth. He had to testify. When you listen, man, whatever you do in the dark, it will be revealed in light. When you ask this box in the corner, you have to tell the truth. That's why they call him the truth, because there's no lies in his damn fist. And the lies that's not in his damn fist is the fact that he gave Sean Porter bloated fucking trauma. And the reason why we know this to be true, that he gave him bloated fucking trauma. See, we got Jordan 6-time Bishop in the building. See, y'all need to be like Jordan 6-time Bishop. This motherfucker yesterday by himself donated $100. So I don't want to hear it. Y'all motherfuckers donate $10 each, or we could split it. 20. Y'all got 10 motherfuckers up in here, $20 each. Let's get to the 200. 100 He Knows way, 100 Tom Ross way. Back to regular scheduled broadcast. The thing that's important, Ross, for motherfuckers to understand is Sean Porter got bloated trauma in his tune-up fight. He looked bad. He looked horrible. He couldn't even do his poor rendition of the Mike Tyson style of him zigzagging or whatever. He was trying to box. This is when Sean Porter, the boxer, started really showing up. It was in that fucking fight. But when he fought Terence Crawford, go look at that fight. Even a mangled version of Sean Porter that wasn't even the Sean Porter that fought Spence was beating up Terence Crawford all the way up until, once again, just like Kell Brook, they go look at Bob Arum's way. And then once they look at Bob Arum's way, it's a paid to fucking lose nosedive. I don't understand what it is about looking at Bob Arum and Bob Arum going like this, thumbs up, and then the fight is had. This motherfucker, like you said yesterday, Terence Crawford threw 6 punches at Sean Porter. All them bitches missed, but Sean Porter hits the ground. Are you fucking kidding me? None of them shits connected. He basically was throwing fucking windmills, and he knocked them out. The same thing with Kell Brook. Kell Brook did a delayed reaction. Terence Crawford hit him on the fucking shoulder. He looked at Bob Arum, and then he hit the canvas. Come on, man.
He flew all the way. He flew all the way to the ropes, and then fell out. I'm like, man, this is so obviously rigged, bro. But the thing about Sean Porter is, I believe that at the most, his father was in on the tape. But I want to believe both of them was in on the tape because Sean Porter had an initial reaction, but that was it. It was like an initial 5-minute reaction. Bro, if you feel like your father fucked up, you're gonna be irate. You're gonna be irate in a press conference. You're gonna be irate for a long time. It be people who their father did the right thing by stopping the fight, and they never forget their fathers for doing the right thing. So you mean tell me your dad did the wrong thing and stopped the fight too early? It was obviously too early because you still had your legs. You wasn't asleep on the canvas. You were able to pound the mat and get it frustrated and get up. Then your father stopped the fight while you're standing up straight and looking coherent. And you get over that shit in 5 minutes? Oh no. They was in on the tape, man.
Exactly.
And I think the reason why Sean Porter was in on that tape because he knows if I win this fight, I got to fight Spence again. And if he beat me twice, now my little shit that I had, little whatever shit that they thought I had, it's really over with. If I lose twice to Errol Spence, because right now I get my little fan base saying they think I won. But if I lose twice, there ain't no I think they think I won. They know I lost both fights.
Exactly.
James Dash said that it looked predetermined. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it does look predetermined. James Dag, you a long-standing follower. Bernard Gaines, I'm gonna start calling you motherfuckers out. Andrew G. Williams, you the fit entrepreneur King Kev Zero, you a Crawford fan. Listen, we got 12 motherfuckers in this shit. Nobody's donated yet. What's up, man? The goal is to get to $200 donation. Y'all want us to cover the topic, then y'all need to donate to fucking motivate. Back onto the topic, man. See, this shit was predetermined, and the reason why it was predetermined was simple as this. And I'm gonna say it like this, Ross, because it's very important. It was predetermined because you gotta understand, Terence Crawford, like Errol Spence said, even though Errol Spence was tipsy that day, I don't care. I'm the biggest Spence fan. I can admit the motherfucker was
so what if he was tipsy? Mexican fighters be tipsy all the time.
Damn right. He said Terence Crawford is smoking fucking mirrors. But he was a sharp tipsy motherfucker that day. Because they asked Errol all the questions, and he said, name me a fighter that's better than Chris Algieri. And he was right. Which fighter is better than Chris Algieri?
That Terence Crawford beat.
Ndongo? Ndongo's better than Chris Algieri? Come on, man. Juan Molina's better than Chris Algieri? Come on, man. Raimundo Beltran is better than Chris Algieri? Come on, man. Don't get me started. Hank Lundy's better than Chris Algieri. You see what I'm talking about? When you name Terence Buck Crawford's opponents, it's smoke and fucking mirrors. Even Terence Buck Crawford fans realize how much smoke and fucking mirrors his opponents are, and so much so that they've jumped on this new wave of boots. Don't even get me started. You got these boot fucking lickers, boots to the fucking head, boots to the fucking ass. They've jumped to this motherfucker who, when you really look at it and you peel the layers of him, he ain't nothing special. It's bullshit with his ass too. So, Ross, talk to me, man. What's your take, bro?
And that's the reason why they control who becomes undisputed, because they use the undisputed to say to give undue credit to a certain fighter. Why did I say that? Think about the non-black guys who become undisputed. Can you name how they got there? Can you name the guys that they fought? You know what I'm saying? Like the last black guy to be undisputed at 147, recognized was fucking what's the name? Was Zab Judah. recognized because Floyd beat Zab Zuza and Baltimore, but they didn't recognize him. But recognized. Other than that, when there's a white guy that's undisputed, who did he beat? It always
Exactly.
be people you don't know. And if it was a black guy that worked for Top Rank, they don't have to beat anybody real to be undisputed.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they do is they make that guy undisputed champion, and they say this guy is a greater champion than the other guys, no matter who you had to fight.
Exactly.
But when you think about Terence Crawford, who did he beat to become undisputed at 140?
Mm-hmm.
And when you start really looking at it, it's like we don't. People are saying Terence Crawford is the best at 147, and he has no proof of that. But what has he done at 147? He's done nothing at 147.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the reason why Floyd said, "Man, belts don't run me. I don't fight for belts." Because he realized what they was doing. They were using belts and the prospect of being undisputed to try to control your career. And to try to twist your arm to take money less than, to take fights you don't want to take, and blase to hold you back, marginalize you, keep you in one weight class till you pass your prime, and now you can't move up to 154. That's why Floyd said, "Man, fuck those belts, man. Like, fuck that shit, man. I'll drop those belts and I'll go to 154, and I'll come back. I'll do what I want to do because they use that undisputed shit, and they might try that with Errol Spence.
Yep.
They might try to keep delaying this fight with Bud to Errol Spence just have to say, fuck it, I'm going to 154. Because they don't want him to be undisputed.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, man. And the reason why I'm glad you said that, because let's be honest, Spence, and I've said this before, a lot of people, it went over a lot of people's heads when I said this shit. But Spence, there's a possibility he's not going to get undisputed at 147. And the reason for that is because there's two things working against Spence right now. He's really killing himself to make 147. I'm going to be honest with you. He's been 154 probably for the last year and a half, 2 years, if we're being honest with ourselves. Because when he bulks the fuck back up to his natural weight, his walk around weight really naturally is like 185, 190. This is why I know Spence could wash Canelo Alvarez. Because Spence in his full big body is 185, 190 walk around weight. Motherfuckers damn near, you might as well say a cruiserweight walking around naturally in his natural body. So he basically goes from that weight all the way down to 147. So he really should be at 154. So Bud had an opportunity to get 40 fucking percent, and he ducked the 40%. Instead of you fight fans saying, you know what? If we're looking at the financials here, we're looking at it from a business transaction. Let's be honest here. Terence Crawford is not on the level from a business transaction and a business mindset as fucking Errol Spence. So he should get the 40 split. No, they've gone with Bud and basically said, no, the shit should be 50-50. We've had big platforms, big channels say this shit should be 50-50. And the reason for that is because they've come to the conclusive state. They've come to the understanding. They've come to the mindset that they believe that Terence Crawford is on the same level with Errol Spence. No, he's not. When you're fighting somebody's leftovers, you're not on their level.
It's either that or they know that that's the way that Terence Crawford could avoid the fight. And truth be told, a lot of people care more about their favorite fighter losing than they care about him even reaching greatness. They would rather him not reach greatness and be undefeated than they would him trying to beat Errol Spence and lose.
Exactly.
But Crawford fans, they are not fans of boxing at all.
Exactly. Ross, you got to say that again, man. That was deep. I haven't done that again. You got to say that shit again.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows this. But Crawford fans are not fans of boxing.
Facts.
Because they don't want a real fight.
And see, I'm glad Jordan 6-time Bishop said this shit, because now I need to clarify something. There's this thing going on. Shout outs to my boy, the Real Marlo TV. And I understand he's been holding his narrative intact from day one that he feels. See, y'all got to understand, when somebody feels something, that's what the person feels. But that doesn't mean it's the actual truth. So we're going to clarify that. As much as I rock with the Real Marlo TV, when I hear something that's wrong, I got to clarify that shit. That's my boy, but I gotta clarify the shit that he said. He said from day one he feels that Earl the True Spence and Jamel Charlo, there's beef and they're gonna fight. And you see, y'all motherfuckers been running with this shit. So it's time to clarify some shit here. You my boy, the Real Model TV, but you wrong on this one. You have to understand, Spence put an Instagram up of him, Jamel, and Jamal together. They said they've been boys since childhood, Texas boys since childhood. And the way that they talking, these three ain't fucking fighting one another. The Charlo twins made it very fucking clear they're not fighting each other. And if you know anything about Texas, folks, I've done my extensive research of people in Texas. They kind of like the way people in Florida are. They rock with their own. They're not going to cut against the grain of their own. They're not going to shit on their own. And I've seen Chicago people like that too. They have each other's back. When you have your brother's back and your brethren's back, you're not going to go against them. So this narrative where y'all feel that Earl the True Spence is going to fight Jamel Charlo, Jamel's fighting Brian Castano for undisputed. What else was Jamel? I want y'all to start putting two and two together here and start using common fucking sense, people. What else would Jamel have to prove if he gets undisputed at 154? Why would he need to stay there for? He gonna move his ass up to 160. So what are y'all not seeing here?
No, that's the LGBTC. That's the LGBTC spirit. The LGBT spirit is whenever they see black men who get along, they want them to fight. If they see black men, they see black men managed by another black man, they want them to break apart. Exactly. If they see, you notice they never say something like Devin Haney is upset with what's the name from whatever the fuck their promotions is. Their promotions so trash. I don't even know. Matchroom Promotions.
There you go.
Devin Haney has way more reason to be upset than Tank Davis.
And Devin Haney has been upset with Eddie Hearn, by the way. So you're right. See, Ross didn't even know this shit, but he's right.
And I know I'm right. I'm saying this. I'm saying,
and you know why you're right? Because he's been upset with the fact that Camboso's fight hasn't happened, and he blamed it on Eddie Hearn.
And I'm building up to a point.
Okay.
All of this frustration, but LDBC don't make videos about Devin Haney being upset with Matchroom. They don't make they make some videos about Bob Arum. They don't make as many as they should. Bob Arum should have a video on him every day. As 30 as he is. They don't really make videos at the level they make about Tank. Terence Crawford is upset with Bob Arum. They make 2 or 3 videos a day about Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Facts.
They cannot stand when 2 dominant black men are together, and that's a white man's way of seeing things. You got black men who see life through the eyes of white men, man. I despise them, man. I wipe my ass with those guys, man.
I'm glad that you said that.
Hold on. I wipe my ass with the Blue Blood Sports TVs. I wipe my ass with the fucking with Fanon. What's the other dude that's a sellout? One of the biggest sellouts. Showbiz. Showbiz the adult. I wipe my ass with I wipe my ass with those guys because those guys are sellouts, man.
You're right. Beta shop instigations, the biggest fucking sellout now, and he thinks I have a problem with him. Even fucking Facebook Messenger me, hey, we got a problem, and I'm saying, no, we don't have a fucking problem. Just calling out the bullshit. That's Monty Brown TV, Monty Clown fucking TV. How the fuck did you go from being an Earl the True Spence fan to now you basically licking up the cinnamon? I mean, this man is making lies. The other day, I almost got tempted. He made a lie on Andre. I don't like when you make the lie. I have a 3 triangle of boxers. If you know me, I have 3 triangle of boxers that I root for. That's Floyd, Andre Ward, and Earl the True Spence. Everybody's been following my platform. No, when you rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. I don't settle for these bullshit fighters. These are my 3 motherfuckers, and that's who I rock with. He lied on Andre Ward and said Andre Ward basically said Canelo is greatness. And Andre Ward was saying, Andre Ward never said no bullshit like that. Andre Ward always saying, if Canelo know not to call my name out, because if he called my name out, I'd beat the shit out of him. Andre Ward has always said that. So why are you fucking lying? And see, this is what I was talking about yesterday when I said homosexuality in boxing, Ross. There's this acceptance from you guys as commentators. Y'all need to be ashamed of yourself. I'm talking to all you motherfuckers that's listening right the fuck now. Y'all sitting here on these channels while these motherfuckers are talking, and y'all sitting there, you co-signing, yeah, man, that shit is true. These motherfuckers are lying dead in your fucking face. Y'all basically donating to these motherfuckers. That's why I don't hold back when I tell y'all motherfuckers, we have a $200 donation goal and we have 180 to go. You motherfuckers need to donate to fucking motivate. And if y'all don't do that shit, I done told y'all motherfuckers already, y'all don't do this shit, we ain't gonna be covering this fucking topic. What you guys say real quick, Ross?
Donate to motivate.
There you go. Donate to fucking motivate, bitches.
I had to put the bass in the voice.
That's it. That you should put the bass in that shit again. I'll let you say that shit again, man.
Donate to motivate.
That's it. Because y'all want to sit here and listen to them their bullshit, y'all need to listen to the real shit. What you guys say, Ross?
Now, there's a reason why they're saying y'all need to get back to talking boxing because those guys have failed.
Yep.
You know it's bullshit. You know you're getting bullshit.
Yep.
But you know we're small channels. We need you to donate to motivate. So why can't you just do that, man? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you donate what you can,
yep.
Don't do nothing crazy. We ain't the Baptist church. We're not gonna pull the motherfucking the plate around 300 times. Donate what you can, but show that appreciation.
Yeah, we're not mega churching you. We're not telling you 1,000. We're telling you 200 because we know y'all donate 1,000, 2,000 in other channels. I know this to be true because I've seen $100 donations 5-6 times around, and then I start doing the math. I'm like, me motherfucker walked out with like 2K. So we know y'all got the capability to do it.
I seen Blues Plus, Blue Blood Sports TV do a live, and I was only on the live 25 minutes.
Yeah,
and this nigga had received $3,000 in donation. All he was saying was blase salute. Blase salute.
You see?
Blase salute.
You see?
Yeah, man. Blase salute.
You see?
Yeah, man. Errol Spence, man. He's ducking Crawford. Blase salute.
Yep.
Like,
so we know the capability is there.
He ain't even giving you shit.
So Tommy DeSeuss, these types of motherfuckers that come on my shit, send me comments starving for He Knows, starving for Tom Ross. I've had motherfuckers say, man, why He Knows and Tom Ross? Man, y'all the best, man. Y'all Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. If we Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and shit, show your Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant donation.
Right.
We deserve Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant donation. Show that shit. You show that shit, we gonna cover the shit. See, that's what y'all motherfuckers understand. Voices are starved until y'all fucking donate. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, closed mouths, like my boy Ace Hood said, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yep.
And here's the thing, and I want to say this real quick, Ross, and then I'm gonna give you the complete floor with this shit. What motherfuckers gotta understand, Ross, is as simple as this. When we sit here, there you go, Sosa Smith, $1.99, $2. See that's what he could do. But I know Sosa Smith, that $2 will multiply times 10. Sosa Smith, do it like you did yesterday. Give us 10 of them shits. But anyways, back to what we was talking about. The thing that motherfuckers gotta understand, Ross, is the reason why fight fans are diametrically opposed to the alpha male boxer, like they was with Floyd, just like they are with Errol Spence, is because it's a personality trait. I want y'all to pay attention to what the fuck I'm going with this shit. If your personality trait is a weak and inferior personality, you have a weak trait as an individual, you're gonna root for the weak trait motherfucker. Terence Buck Crawford identifies with most of you motherfuckers because what does he do? He clout chases. That's what y'all do. What does he do? He shows up everywhere ESJ at, begging, having his tongue out, wagging. That's some shit y'all would fucking do. So let's be honest with ourselves. The person you root for tells me the clear indication of your personality trait. If you're rooting for the strong fighter, you got a strong personality. It's just that fucking simple. And like Sosa Smith said, and we're gonna put his shit up. ESJ washes Bud, then goes to 154. Blue reps ESJ. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't give a fuck what blue represent. But Sosa Smith, you could keep sending a 199 times 10 because you probably over there sending $100 over there. So send 199 times 10 over here. Anyways, your first half of what you said makes sense. ESJ washes Bud. And the reason why he washes Bud is because you have to look at the makeup. Errol Spence is fighting not only elite competition, you have to understand the way boxing works. If you're constantly fighting elite competition, you're sharpening your tools. It's iron sharpened iron. Bud's last opponent is not sharpening his tools. Bud is just doing what's called staying fucking busy. There's a difference between staying busy and fighting versus sharpening your fucking tools. When they fight each other, y'all gonna be heavily disappointed because this shit gonna look like Hagler or Hearns, probably even worse. Don't be surprised if Spence start annihilating Bud by the third or fourth round. Because first and foremost, Bud don't do well with body shots. Case in reference, Indongo. Indongo hit this bitch with 2 or 3 body shots and his tongue went. Right. So I can imagine Spence, the body snatcher, and what the fuck he's gonna do against Terence Bud Crawford. I keep telling you guys, I'm giving you guys case reference fights. Another case reference fight. Go look at when Terence Crawford fought one-legged Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez was tagging his ass up with jabs. Spence is a jab killer. He beats you with a stiff jab. He beats you with a looping jab. Spence will beat you with a blinding jab. Spence is a jab killer. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Stop overrating Terence Bud Crawford. Then you got Kell Brook, who got a 69-inch reach. He was outboxing Terence Bud Crawford, who's supposed to have a 77, 78 reach. Earl the True Spence got 72. Man, y'all don't understand the sport of boxing, man. I'm done. What you got to say with this shit, Ross?
So when it comes to Jamar Charlo, if he can't, and this is where he get on my nerves, if he can't get the Canelo fight, then he has to fight David Benavidez or Andre. If he has to fight those guys, I'm gonna salute him. But if he has to fight those guys before he has to fight Canelo, I'm gonna shit on Canelo because he's been trying to fight Canelo for the last decade.
Facts.
But if the nigga keep ducking you, you have to fight somebody else. You can't just not fight somebody else. But that's why I'm telling people the way boxing goes. What he wants to do is all these guys beat up each other so he can beat up people that's fucked up.
Exactly.
But for his legacy, for his career, he if he tries to get this fight too long, he's gonna be out of his. He's gonna work himself out of his moment.
Yep.
So he has to, even though he might want the Canelo fight as bad as whatever, he has to realize Canelo is afraid of him. And he got to fight who wants to fight him. Now, Jaime Munguia is supposed to be getting crushed on every platform.
Yep.
This dude has denied a title fight with Andre, and he has denied a title fight with Charlo. Who denies title fights, man? Who does that?
Okay.
You're a mandatory. Why? Salute Sosa Smith.
That's what I told you. Sosa Smith is good for 10 more of them shits. Sosa Smith, you got 8 more donations. Go ahead, Ross. 8 more.
Sosa Smith says Spence hasn't shown all his facets. He can box, control range, or he can technical power punch, placement, and control aggression and destroy Crawford. ESJ gonna fight Charlo. Often he might, but I don't think so. I think put it this way, Errol Spence ain't afraid to fight Jamel, but I don't think that's something he want to do. If he can help it, I'll say that. That's not in his plan. But if Charlo's in the way of him becoming undisputed at 154, he'll fight him. But that's not in his plan. That ain't his plan. It wasn't his plan to fight Peterson, but Peterson was in the way. Peterson, that's his friend. That's his guy. But he had to fight him. But that wasn't in the plans. It wasn't in Jamel. Not Jamel. Shakur Stevenson planned to fight Jamel Herring, but he has to.
Yep.
He didn't want to do it.
Yep.
So I don't think that's something he wanted. I think come down to it, Spence will fight Canelo before he fight those guys.
Yep.
But I don't want that fight. I want Canelo to fight people his size right now, man. I want him to fight Charlo, Jamal.
Stop going in these overbloated 175 fights that boxing fans are not asking for. We're not asking for that bullshit.
Nobody asking for that, man. Nobody asking for that. And that's the thing, y'all. This is what we saying, man. Me personally, black people are getting better and better at supporting black business. And I get it, man. Y'all supporting these black men. And and I give y'all credit.
Yep.
But bro, y'all gotta start supporting the people who giving y'all the real, man.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know what I mean? And we giving y'all the real. You know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, me and he knows we done already found this in lane, and we about to switch here. There's probably like 30 minutes. To our channels are being fed.
Mm-hmm.
We came back to boxing for the love of y'all. But
Mm-hmm.
truth be told, this takes away from shit that we could be doing on the other side. That's the reason
Mm-hmm.
why we asked for the donations. And Social Smith, we salute you, bro. Social
37
Smith,
so far. $37 in donations so far. Guess what? The end game, 37, the 5. Listen, man, y'all motherfuckers got, what was that, 162? The 5. Y'all motherfuckers got 100. And if I'm doing my math right, $163 left to meet the goal. 163 to meet that
Social,
$200 donation goal.
Social Smith said, ESJ said it makes sense. Nobody gonna stop his legacy. He beats Charlo in sparring, but like Tyson said, if you my friend, fight me. Tyson, whatever he says, the whole no weight to me.
Yep.
Because he don't keep the same energy when it comes to white and Mexican fighters.
Facts.
He always saying shit about black fighters. Black fighters need
Yep.
to do this. Black fighters need to do that. Black fighters need to do this. What
Mm-hmm.
about the white fighters, man? How
Yep.
come you ain't say nothing about Tyson Fury
Yep.
wearing gloves with no padding?
Yep.
Why you ain't saying nothing about Charlo?
Yep.
Canelo ducking Charlo for a decade.
Yep.
So I'm sorry, I don't have respect for Mike Tyson, man. I like that.
Yep. And I'm glad you said that shit because I'm about to say some shit. Make sure y'all donate to the platform, man. Donate to motivate. We have $163 left to meet these donation goals. We've gotten 37 so far. Let's keep the donations coming. It's today
Donate,
is Sunday. Go ahead, Ross.
donate to motivate.
Say it again, bro.
Donate to motivate.
Listen, man, we ain't no fucking church, but we got the collections plate out, and the collections plate that we have out is donate to motivate. Now let's get back to this Jamal Charlo here. James Ag, you my nigga, but there's one thing you said here. I gotta correct that shit. You said Jamal Charlo is super disappointed right now. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what these choing boxing channels do to y'all. And James Dag, you my nigga, but we gonna correct you real quick. Jamal Charlo's not super disappointed. Y'all forget he fought Sergey Derevyanchenko, a motherfucker that Canelo ducked, a motherfucker that Triple G ducked, beat the shit out of him, boxed the life out of him, embarrassed him. He's been calling Canelo out forever. He went on Mike Tyson's Hot Boxing, and Mike Tyson was trying to force Jamal Charlo to call out David Benavidez when Mike Tyson should have been right there saying, look, Canelo Alvarez has been called out by you since 2013. This is a 9 years of duckage. I don't understand you fight fans. This has been 9 years of duckage. We're talking about almost a decade of fucking duckage. A decade, y'all. And y'all sitting here not holding Canelo Alvarez feet to the fire. You boxing fans have more power than what you think. If all of you boxing fans say, Canelo, we're not watching no more of your fucking fights until you fight Jamal Charlo, guess what happens? Canelo don't make money. And the boxing promoters, they force his fucking hands. They don't give a fuck if he go into lawsuit or he go into ducking status or whatever. They'll tell that motherfucker, look here, we will make you irrelevant to fucking morrow. Even the Mexican mafias will tell his ass, hey, El Chapo and them, bitch, you better go and step your ass in the ring. You better step your cinnamon ass in the ring and fucking fight and stop acting like a bitch. Because we need to make that money. But y'all not demanding the shit. Y'all sitting here kissing Canelo Alvarez's fucking ass. Salute to you, Sammy Sosa. Salute to you, Sosa Smith. We appreciate that. That's now it's $42. So guess what? $42. If I'm doing the math, that's 158 left for donations. But anyways, and I'm gonna answer your point right here. But here's the thing: Canelo is not being demanded. If Canelo's being demanded, then guess what, Ross? He's gonna have to fight Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo has gotten to a point in his career he should not fight David Benavidez and down. Canelo should be the fight. You want to know why? Because Eddie Reynoso and them said that Jamal Charlo is the super fight of the ages. Eddie Reynoso has respected Jamal Charlo to the point where he said Jamal Charlo would give Canelo Alvarez problems.
It is. It is. My only rebut to that is, of course, that's the fight. That's the fight we all want to see. Yep. But if he's not gonna fight you, then you have to fight somebody else of note worth.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, I'm saying Canelo has to take that fight, but there's a good chance Canelo will never take that fight.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you gonna do at Jamal Charlo? Not fight the other guys? Because now what they will do is they're gonna zero in on you and say you're the ducker now. You see what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this, Ross, and I know this shit sound controversial, but and I don't blame Jamal Charlo for doing this shit. I would have done the same shit too. Jamal Charlo and Ross gonna be like, because once I say this shit, Ross, his brain power is so elite, he'll catch this shit. You know what Jamal Charlo doing right now? He Kanye West in the situation. He's basically using Canelo Alvarez hyperbole against him. Oh, you want to fight stay busy fighters and get away with the shit? I'm gonna do the same shit too. Until you fight, you step in the ring with me. He's telling the boxing fans, fuck y'all. I'm not gonna go the way y'all want me to go. Y'all want me to sit here and fight who the fuck y'all want me to fucking fight. No, I'm gonna keep doing what this motherfucker's doing so that just like he's staying as fresh as possible, I'm staying as fresh as possible so I can end up fighting him. Because guess what? Jamal knows that you boxing fans are gonna have to command for Canelo to fight him eventually.
Well, you know what he should do then? Go up
Mm-hmm.
to go up to 168 and fight one of those guys, like one of those weak ass guys that Canelo fought.
Mm-hmm.
You got if you're not gonna do that, he got to go up to 168. He got to, you know what I'm saying? He got to make it look like something that is not. Then you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna fight fire with fire, because 160 is top heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't a plethora of guys like 150, like 147. It's top heavy as fuck. So either you the man or you a stepping stone. So when you fight a stepping stone at 160, it look really bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you might need to go up to 168, beat the hell out of one of those regular champions. You know what I mean? Get some blowback, not too much, and then just say, "Well, yeah, let Canelo do it." You know what I mean? But I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna tell you right now, James Dag. I'm gonna tell you right now, and Ross is hitting on the point. Canelo's not ever gonna fight Jamal Charlo, Andrade, and Bitev because y'all ain't commanding this shit. Let me tell you something about the sport of boxing, and Ross knows this better than anybody. When the powers that be tell you, we don't give a fuck who you think you are, you gonna fight this fucking fight, you're going to fight this fucking fight. If Floyd Mayweather in his power and his pristine ability, the powers that be was like, yo, Floyd, this Manny Pacquiao fight is way too much fucking money here. Floyd was gonna fight him regardless. But let's say if Floyd would have resisted, the powers that be was gonna be like, yo, Floyd, you're gonna have to fight this shit. And you know what? Floyd would have to succumb to the shit. When the powers that be tell you to do some shit, I don't give a fuck what your name is. Because that's how the way the sport of boxing works. I told you it's a three-pronged monster of economics, politics, and pugilism. The difference between Floyd and Canelo, when Floyd has never allowed the powers that be force his hands because Floyd fights competition. Canelo has always been boxed into a corner where the powers that be has to force his hand. Do you honestly think that Canelo wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather? It was Oscar De La Hoya that baited him into that shit. If you go back and look at this shit, Canelo would have never fought Floyd. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. He would have never fought Floyd. Never. It was Oscar De La Hoya that baited him, and Oscar De La Hoya baited him at the right time. Young. And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Jamal Charlo doesn't not need. You know who Jamal Charlo? The only other person I want to see Jamal Charlo fight, just so that you can have a triangle, is Caleb Plant. That's it. And you know why? Because it's a PBC fighter. The money stays in PBC. Jamal Charlo flatlines him. That's the fight y'all should be asking for. And then now y'all get to see the difference between a non-paid to lose fight versus a paid to lose fight. And guess what that sets up? Canelo and Jamal again, because it puts pressure back. See, y'all not thinking, man. I'm a businessman. I'm always thinking marketing. I'm always thinking business.
I get what you're saying.
Plant, that's a triangle situation right there.
I see what you're saying. I just think Canelo, when it comes to Charlo, I just think, and Andre, for some reason, I just think when it comes to those guys, he's scared. Think about it. There's some dude, all you had to do was fight Andre, and he'd have been undisputed if he wins. And he vacated all the belts. Who does that?
Yep.
What do he know about Andre that the rest of the boxing world don't know? And thing is, he didn't get the backlash he was supposed to get for that.
No, he
At
didn't.
160, you cannot duck undisputed, bro.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
you at 160, and you get at 147, 160, and heavyweight champion of the world. Those are fights when you have an undisputed title fight, you must take it.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no I'm not ready. Muhammad Ali was young as hell when he fought Sonny Liston, man.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no I ain't ready's. Bro, he ducked him. So he'll never be great in my eyes. And that's the thing right there. Me personally, no matter who win or lose between those guys, I'm gonna salute them because in 2022, guys in middleweight don't even fight each other no more.
Yep.
So if Andre the Benavidez fight, I'm gonna salute that.
Yep.
I'm gonna salute that, and then I'm gonna just rag and drag Canelo through the mud because he didn't fight those guys. Canelo could never be great if he don't fight all three of those guys.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And I'm glad that you
He
said
has to
that.
fight all three of them to be great.
Yep.
Not just one. He got to fight Charlo, Andre, and Benavidez.
There you go. That's my same standard. He has to just to reciprocate all of the mediocre and substandard fights that this motherfucker has had. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I could understand how he could finesse and duck Andrade. I call him Andrade because Demetrius Andrade, a lot of motherfuckers don't know this shit, but I'm gonna say this shit right now, and I'm gonna tell you why I call him Demetrius Andrade. And Demetrius Andrade is Haitian, by the way, so we call him by his fucking Haitian name. But anyways, Demetrius Andrade, he's gonna duck that motherfucker because Demetrius Andrade doesn't have the popularity that Jamal Charlo has. See, Jamal Charlo, you know why Canelo is eventually gonna have to fight Jamal Charlo regardless. I don't care what y'all motherfuckers say. Let me tell you why. Because Jamal Charlo has a namesake. And Jamal Charlo knows it, and that's why Jamal Charlo is holding out. Jamal Charlo is doing the smartest business move that you can do. I'm Kanye West in the situation. I'm freezing this shit out. I ain't listening to you stupid ass boxing fans. Because if I listen to y'all motherfuckers y'all motherfuckers gonna make me go the way that y'all want to go. No, fuck y'all. I'm going the way I'm going. If y'all gonna sit here and co-sign Canelo Alvarez's subpar behavior, then you can't get mad at me for sitting here keeping myself fresh for this motherfucker. I don't blame the Charlos for that shit. If anything, I salute them for that. Because let me tell you something about you chung boxing fans. One way y'all go in one channel and sing like fucking opera singers and say, yeah, salute to Jamal Charlo. The next second, y'all go like opera singers, yeah, to another channel and start saying, fuck Jamal Charlo. And he knows that. These boxers ain't stupid. They know you boxing fans are not loyal as fuck. Y'all catch 22 motherfuckers. And then when they start doing what y'all tell them to do, you know what end up happening? Oh, well, he didn't perform the way he was supposed to. Like Errol the True Spence fought Sean Porter. Well, Errol, that wasn't his best fucking performance. These motherfuckers know about you motherfuckers. So fuck y'all. I'm going to be the first one to tell y'all. And I ain't a boxer. Fuck y'all. So imagine the boxer. They telling y'all a double fuck y'all. Look what y'all doing right now with Gervonta Tank Davis. Now we segueing into this shit. And Floyd Mayweather. You see, you had motherfuckers like Blue Finch Straddler TV, a Finch fucking straddling beta, ready. He was ready because he didn't like the fact that Leonard Ellerby dissed him and made him feel like shit and basically said, who the fuck are you? I ain't getting taking no interview from you. They was waiting. You stupid fucks. You guys don't realize contracts come up all the time. Does that mean that they have beef because Gervonta Tank Davis said one thing and Floyd? These motherfuckers, they always pushing narratives. They're not about boxing. Always. They're about divide and conquer and divide. Floyd basically cleaned it up and said, look, we both did great things together. But at this point, you know, the contract is up. If he decides to move on, he decides to move on. But Gervonta Tank Davis is not Gervonta Tank Davis. He's not known. He's not selling out Atlanta Pack arenas. He is not the box office, the big eight that he is. He's not with Floyd. Let's be honest here, man.
Not without Floyd.
And y'all motherfuckers sitting here saying there's dissension. Where was there dissension? Because there was news that his contract was up. You can't be brain full of mush and brainwash fucking dodo heads.
They wanted it to be dissension. So that's what they were saying, man. That's what they wanted. Excuse me, y'all. They wanted, whenever they see two alpha males working together, get the things accomplished,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna start saying there's dissension.
Facts.
Because we've been groomed as black men that black men can't do nothing together. It's more than two black people together doing something, it's something got to be wrong with it. They never say it's dissension between Eddie Hearn and Devin Haney.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say that. They let them iron their shit out.
Yep.
But there's dissension between Floyd and Al Heyman or Floyd and another black boxer every fucking day. Gotta start calling these guys out on this bullshit. That's
Yep.
that's a mental defect, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental defect that I say we have to talk about us as a community. We
Mm-hmm.
feel there's something wrong when we see two strong, unapologetic black men together doing anything. They
Facts.
must be at odds. It's like there can't be one.
Yep.
It must be that it can't be more than one black guy. That comes
Yep.
from white society. At the
Yep.
job, they always make
Yep.
the black people fight against each other because it
Yep.
got to be one. It only can be one.
Facts.
You gotta. I revolt against anything white, bro. Any white thinking, I revolt against it
Yep.
because that's not the way we think. That's not how we move. It could be more than one. It could be a whole group of alphas together.
Yes.
It got to be just one.
Ooh, Sosa Smith said something so powerful. Shakur Stevenson and ESJ, my guys, they want all the smoke. They do. I love those two fighters. Ross, that's the only Ross will tell you that's the only top ranked fighter that he fucks with, Shakur Stevenson.
What's
And
up?
look at this, Ross. Tank not leaving Floyd if he knows what's good for him. Ooh, I love that comment. Yes. If that
The only way-
motherfucker knows what's good with him, he's not leaving that situation.
The only way is if he learned all he needed to learn. He ready to be on his own.
Yep.
Not leaving him to go nowhere else.
Yep.
If we leave him to go to Bob Arum, he gonna get fucked over.
Yep.
If we leave him to go to Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn ain't been doing shit but fucking over Andre.
Yeah.
Eddie
I'm gonna
Hearn
make a bold statement right now, Ross.
Eddie Hearn made
My bad,
no fuss about Canelo not fighting Andre for undisputed. No fuss. That means he's not there for Andre.
Yep.
He don't care about Andre. He made no fuss. He is supposed to make so much of a fuss that he shamed him into that fight.
Facts.
Don't give me this shit about he don't got a name. He got a belt.
Exactly.
You at 160, you supposed to be trying to get all the belts, regardless of the
Facts.
names. You at 160. That's King of the Hill. 160 is King of the Hill. It's middleweight royalty. You duck undisputed, you could never be great at 160.
Facts.
I don't care what nobody say, man. You can't
Yes,
be
because
great
it's
at
the
160.
transitional division in fucking boxing. Everybody knows that shit. Ross is preaching and teaching right now. You motherfuckers need to gobble this shit up like a fucking turkey. Let me tell you guys something right now. And Ross know I hold extreme positions. It's just the way I'm wired. Ross is not as extreme as me. Ross looks at things from more a balanced sense. And that's just that's just our styles. Our styles are different from that standpoint. If we're very similar in a lot of ways, we're different from that. I'm gonna say this, Ross. Ross gonna be like, "Come on, he knows. Don't say that shit." If Tank fuck around and leave Floyd, I'm done with his ass. I'm washing my hand. I'm gonna punch his pilot his ass. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Why I'm gonna feel that way? Because Tank would have taken in, and the reason why I'm saying this shit, Tank would have listened and taken in LDBC garbage nonsense. Because really, who's pushing for Tank to break up with Floyd? Let's be honest here.
LDBC.
Who's pushing for the breakup? It's them. So that means he would have taken in that nonsense, and I had to wash my fucking hands with him. I have to wash my fucking hands with him. I'll be done with fucking Tank. And I'm not going to talk bad about him because he's still an elite fighter and all that good shit, but I'll wash my fucking hands. And I'll tell you that I'll do a fucking shorts and show Pontius Pilate washing his fucking hands and show Tank's face and say I wash my fucking hands with his ass. I will be honest with you because you don't leave a situation like that where your box office, you're commanding what you're commanding to go to a stupid situation and then become like another fucking Devin Haney who has to wait in the line and beg for fucking handouts and beg like a fucking motherfucker that's sitting here left and right. Can you please fight me? Can you please fight me? If he was with Floyd, he would never have to do no dumb shit like that.
Because you got to understand one thing, man. Tank came out the gate getting 1 million, 2 million, the Showtime, the Showtime little things they do before the fights.
Mm-hmm.
That was because of Floyd, man. Floyd helped him sell himself when he didn't really know how to sell himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he still listen. If he don't do that, me personally, I'm not gonna wash my hands with him because I'm just not. What happens to Floyd? Unless it's something fucked up. This is business. If he decide he don't want to work with Floyd no more, that's fine. But it got to be for him to make money himself. If he goes to work with Top Rank, I'm gonna be like, this he a fuck nigga for that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If he go and he works with Golden Boy, them guys, I can't fuck with him because if you're gonna stop working with a black man, you should be working for yourself.
Exactly.
You should not be stop working for a black man to go work with other people that don't give no fucks about you.
You should have learned with GTD Promotions enough, and you should have enough information so that when we see you fight, it should say GTD Promotions and whatever other promotions that's fighting with you.
But if he was smart, he'll say, you know what, I want to focus more on my own shit, Floyd, but I still want to retain you in this portion. I still want to get money with you, but I want to do it this way. If you're smart, he will always stay linked to Floyd and Al Heyman because there's no better business for a black fighter than Floyd and Al Heyman.
Exactly.
Now, but I understand you want to do your own thing, and you get better and better at doing your own thing, but you should still stay linked with the people who's doing you good.
Yeah.
Tank Davis is doing so good under Floyd that he could fight anybody and sell out pay-per-view.
Anybody.
He can fight anybody and do good pay-per-view numbers because he be knocking motherfuckers out.
Yep.
And you know it's an event. You know Floyd gonna be there. If Floyd gonna be there, all the celebrities gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
All the young boys like Tank. All the young boys, all the NBA young boys, all them guys like Tank.
Mm-hmm.
All the older guys that celebrities like Floyd. It's an event. Once you start trying to think you could do that on your own, things get a little iffy.
Yep.
I'm an independent person by nature. So if you do it, I will respect it if you do it the right way. But if you don't do it the right way, how can I respect it?
It's just not time yet for him to do it.
You know
And the reason why I feel it's not time is because you got to understand when Floyd did the transition, Floyd had a big fight under his belt, the Oscar De La Hoya fight. When he transitioned, you got to do it after you get that big fight and then transition, because now what happens is you've become a globalized name and then you can transition off of your own branding. Gervonta Tank Davis is popular, but he's only popular in the States. If we take Gervonta Tank Davis outside and we take him internationally, people don't know him like that. Let's be honest. He's Floyd Global. So he needs to stay with Mayweather Promotions, get globalized. Then once he gets globalized, if he decides to branch off, then he could tell Floyd, this is what I would tell Floyd. Look, Floyd, I don't want you to be as hands-on. I don't need you to be in the interviews. I just want you to be like the way Al Heyman is. I want you to be like that advisor. Let me run every fucking thing, and then you just be Al Heyman completely. And Floyd will understand that, because now Floyd will say, okay, you know what? Your namesake is of stature and is of marketability to the level to where I don't need to be hands-on with you. So now, yes, we can make the transition. That's what it would have been the smart play. But to sit here and just disconnect when your boxing career has not fully hit the full stratosphere of globalized star, it's not a smart move right now. It's too premature.
And then another thing is, we don't even know if Tank even thinking that way. That's what the LDBC put out. They put out Tank is going to leave, and we don't even know. Tank could just be biding his time, being quiet so he can get more money on the next deal.
Yeah.
Keeping Floyd guessing. So Floyd like, you know what, man, this is what I'm willing to do. It might be something he wasn't willing to do beginning, but Tank's been quiet. So Floyd, this could be business. And he could, in the back of his mind, know he could be with Floyd regardless. This is now business. This ain't got nothing to do with Floyd don't like Tank and Tank don't like Floyd. And I hate how they minimize black businessmen.
Facts.
To pettiness. If he leave, if Floyd leave a white person, it's business. But if Floyd leave a black person, oh, it was beef the whole time. Floyd never liked Al Heyman. Al Heyman fuck when it's always got to be drama when black people do business.
Yep.
I fucking hate that, man.
It's a slave mentality, bruh. That's what it is. Let's be honest, because back in slavery, they used to have, and that's why you see the homosexuality in boxing when you got guys like Barbershop Conversations, guys like Boxing Ego doing Weight Watchers and showcasing their bodies and stuff like that. This is all prevalent of back in slavery days when the massa, yes, massa, had two black individuals basically fight in front of each other, damn near naked, and they're sitting there looking and just amazed by, look at these men. Look at the way they're well endowed. Look at their bodies. Look at how they are beating each other up like barbarics. This is what people don't understand. When they do these things, they're reenacting these behaviors and they're not even understanding that. So this is a generational thing that has passed on from one tie to the next generational tie to the next generational tie to the next generational tie.
That was the beginning of boxing.
Yep.
The beginning of boxing was not the shit they say. Oh, Ed Sullivan from the UK. No, it was the Mandingo fights that they had on the slave quarters.
Facts.
And it always had to be one alpha, one champion.
Yep.
One black dude, and he got to fuck all the women. He was the stud.
Yep. That was the paycheck that he gets to sleep with the women. Wherever, and then you always had that one. You remember you always had that one that was kind of like the way what's his name was Jack Johnson. You had the one that was like Jack Johnson that said, you know what, screw y'all, I'm gonna hump y'all women. Yeah, I'm the stud, right. Y'all women too. And then that one, they go take him in the back, abuse him, beat him down, and make an example out of him.
Lynch him.
Yep.
They lynch him because you ain't supposed to be fuck. You ain't supposed to fuck my wife, man. Yeah. I say you can fuck everybody else's wife, not my wife.
But they don't realize their wife is sitting there saying, well, damn, this right here, this is the mystery of the world.
That's the thing. So, but I say that to say that that was the beginning of boxing, but that mindset is still in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear people always going at the PBC, why are they doing it? Because it's controlled by black men.
Exactly.
For black men. Black men are not supposed to have control of their image, of their finances, of their domain. The perfect nigga in the American society is
Mike Tyson.
Hold on. Let me get this out. Is employed by the white man, fed by the white man, and live by white men principles.
That sounds like Mike Tyson to me.
That's the perfect nigga. When you're not doing those things, you are now a threat, bro.
You know who that sounds like, Ross? It sounds like Showbiz the adult.
Right. And I'm not saying this to say if you got a job, you're a nigga. What I'm saying is if you're comfortable and you're not trying to work for yourself and you're headed that way. And then on top of that, if you're not trying to eventually control your domain, you're headed that way. And then on top, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying because I had a job, I worked for the white man the last 20 years.
Yep.
But my focus was always to work for myself.
Yep.
And now I'm headed towards freedom.
Yep.
God bless me to get through 20 years in the military.
Man, that July 31st, headed to super freedom.
Now I'm headed towards freedom, but I had to be a slave for the last 20 years. So I'm not saying this like y'all niggas slaves, and I'm not. I had a slave for the last 20 years. And don't think just because you work for the government, you're a slave. No. If you work for any white man, you're a slave, because those niggas can tell you fired.
Yep.
Whenever somebody can say you fired, you're a slave, man. Because you give your hard-earned money, you give your hard-earned time to these niggas, and they can just say, man, fuck you.
Yep.
And it's saying in the contract, at any time we can fire you for nothing.
Yep. That's true. That's
at
true.
Our convenience. At our convenience, we can terminate this contract.
Exactly.
Bro. And that's what I'm saying. How I relate that to boxing is whenever a black man is not under that type of domain and that type of control, they're a threat. Kind of like how they do, kind of like how they treat Kanye West now.
And I'm glad Tom Ross said that. And see, James Dagg said Tom Ross for fact. Man, Tom Ross always, every time this man's a walking dictionary. Every time you open his mouth, facts coming out. Let me tell you, he's got something. I'm about to toot Tom Ross's horn. I love to do this. I know Tom Ross don't like it, but I love to do it, and I'm gonna do it for him. Showbiz the adult has identity crisis. Showbiz the adult was exactly the typical Negro that Tom Ross was talking about. If you guys understand, before he started becoming quote unquote conscious, I know y'all been paying attention to that, where he started talking about Jack Johnson, all that. You know who forced his hand to do that? That brother right there. Because he dropped a community post where he gave the comparison of Showbiz the adult being Martin Luther King, basically finicky on both sides of the aisle, and him basically being the Malcolm X of the situation. You got to understand that unnerved Showbiz the adult, because he then dropped a community post after that to turn around and say, well, people are now attacking my, authenticity as a black man. Then he starts going to soliloquy saying, I used to be a rapper. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? And then
Right.
he went into, I gotta now start talking about the doctrinations and all of this. Now he's talking serious stuff. Now I got a Patreon, all that. This man forced this man's hand to start talking about all these things, because you know what? He was exactly the stereotypical Negro that was sitting here propping up Manny Pacquiao, propping up Canelo Alvarez, propping up Lomachenko, but shitting on Floyd, shitting on Earl
Right.
Spence, shitting on all of these types of black fighters, Javante Tank Davis. And then all of a sudden he started saying, well, I like Earl Spence too. Well, I like Floyd Mayweather too. Well,
Right.
I like Javante Tank Davis. This man was putting up community posts where he was saying that Manny Pacquiao, in his estimation, was a greater fighter than Floyd. We only know cop outs and coons and buffoons to do this kind of bullshit and fuck shit. Sean
I
Porter's
mean,
done this.
right. I mean, not to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a comparison, then I would say, you know me, when something close or it makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
I don't argue it. Like me personally, the guy in basketball that had the best career ever, in my estimation,
Mm-hmm.
best career all around is Michael Jordan. And Kareem is a second. The best
Mm-hmm.
skills are the person who actually played basketball the best. Like if there was no MVPs, if you just watch two niggas, people playing basketball, I always say Kobe with Jordan
I
right
don't
there.
disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
And with Jordan right there. But if somebody who's 70 years old tells me Bill Russell was the greatest he ever seen, I'm not going to argue with him.
Exactly.
Why? Because Bill Russell is the greatest leader that has ever played basketball. He
That's true.
coached he coached championships as a player.
Yep.
So some people have their goats. If the goats make sense, I don't argue the goats. But this don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
One guy is greater than one guy, his resume, and he beat the other guy. So how is the
Mm-hmm.
other guy greater? That makes
Facts.
no sense.
Once you beat the guy, that's it. It ends the argument.
Especially if y'all on the same level.
Yeah.
That's it. And basically, and in boxing is different.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing on that in that night when y'all get in there, stat wise, Will Chamberlain is one of the great stat wise. But Will Chamberlain lost a lot of championships, man.
He lost a
But
lot. And
he
Bill
lost a
Bill
lot.
Russell Bill Russell owned him.
That's the reason why I always say Bill Russell better than Will Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Because basketball is about winning. It's not about
Offense gets the glory,
points.
but defense wins championships.
It's not about points. It's about the wins.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you could get the wins, the stats, and the wins, then now you working. Now you cooking. But anyway,
Bill Russell is the definition of Dennis Rodman's Universal Soldier saying, when Dennis Rodman said in that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, offense gets the glory, but defense wins championships. Will Chamberlain gets the glory for offense, but Bill Russell, defense wins championships.
that means nothing.
It means
Because
nothing, James Dag, that the schematics of basketball court was changed because of Will Chamberlain. The reason why it means nothing is because at the end of the day, Bill Russell is the greatest winner. That's what it's all about. Basketball is about winning at the highest levels. Y'all be
Bill
missing.
Russell
Y'all be
and
missing the
Bill
point.
and Bill Russell dominated a sport in a venue
Mm-hmm.
when they openly called him. He ain't playing out west. He ain't
Yep.
playing in the liberal West Coast where they called you different names besides a nigga. He played in Boston where they called him niggas to his face and spit on him every day.
Facts.
And he did it to feed his family.
Yeah.
and he was the best player on that team all those times. Didn't get no Finals MVPs. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
get no, and he was a coach. Didn't get
Yep.
no extra pay.
Yep.
As far as knowing basketball, as far as what a person when you out and you want somebody on your team, Bill Russell's not. He's gonna be one of the first people picked, not the
Yep.
last. You
I
know what I'm
pick him any
saying?
day of the week. I pick him any day of the week over Will Chamberlain. Any day of the week.
You
Because
know
he
what I'm
owned
saying?
him. He dominated him. And here's the thing. Will Chamberlain got dominated by his student. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was his student, came right behind him. They hung out, and then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dominated him. So he's been dominated by two people. He ain't just been dominated by Bill Russell in his era. He was dominated by his student via the skyhook after he started basically ascending and going down. And here's the thing. Kevin Durant is better than LeBron James because by definition of what Ross just said, with Bill Russell wiping the floor with Will Chamberlain, well, Kevin Durant back-to-back LeBron James. If we're going to go by that, that's why how does LeBron even get in a conversation with Kobe or Jordan when LeBron is not even better than Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant wiped the floor with him.
They always make excuses for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron had Curry. I mean, KD
Yeah,
had Curry. Man, LeBron had fucking Kyrie Irving, man,
exactly.
and he had Kevin Love. The,
And
the
Kevin Love.
teams, the
And
teams was
Christian
equal.
Thompson.
The teams was equal. The difference was the star players.
There you
That
go.
was the difference.
Yes.
That was the difference. The
You
difference.
telling the truth.
I disagree that Bill Russell had a better
He
team
didn't have the better team because James
because
Dag, you got to
because
understand, Jerry West wiped the floor with John Havlicek. I'm a basketball guru, James Dag. I think you forget that. You're talking to a basketball guru.
Jerry West was cold. The problem with them
Mm-hmm.
is they didn't play defense like that.
Jerry West was averaging damn near what Bill Russell was. I mean, what Will Chamberlain was averaging at the guard position. He wiped the floor with all of the guard play with the Celtics. So what are you
The
talking
diff,
about? Better team.
the
If you
different
think of Jerry West and Will Chamberlain, that was a Kobe and Shaq gone wrong. They just couldn't fucking win.
the difference was Bill Russell.
Yes.
The way Bill Russell played defense, he transitioned defense to offense simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he got a rebound, Bill Russell wasn't the guy that got the rebound and just handed it to a guard. Bill Russell got the rebound and automatically made the extension play that led to points off the bat.
Yeah.
So they would the stats they keep now, they weren't even keeping back in Bill Russell days.
Yeah.
Bill Russell probably has so much fucking stats, so many assists.
And
so
I didn't
many
even mention Elgin Baylor, who averaged 60. He was the first one to get 60-something points. How do you got a better team when he got these prolific scorers on the Lakers?
They had Elgin, they had Elgin, they had Baylor.
Cousy ain't better than no damn Elgin Baylor, man. What you talking about, James Dag?
Jay, he doesn't
Tripping,
know.
bro.
He doesn't really know he doesn't really know basketball. He just know what they say.
Yeah.
Jerry
yeah,
Cousy and
that's
them
one
are
sport I can see you felling
they're
at. You felling that hard.
finishing something that started on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
All they were doing is getting fast break layups all the time. They weren't doing nothing. Bill Russell was getting the block or getting the rebound, finding them on the break.
Yep.
Making long ass passes accurately.
Yep.
These guys were just regular white dudes. They would have been shit without Bill Russell.
James Daggs, that's not true. The Celtics was Bill Russell. You had to do your research. Before Bill Russell got to the Celtics, they had all of those guys. Bob Cousy, and by the way, his name is Bob Cousy. They had John Havlicek. They had Bob Cousy. They had all those guys. They wasn't winning nothing until Bill Russell showed up on that team. Once he showed up on that team, that's when they started winning. What are you talking about? I'm a basketball walking encyclopedia. Don't try me. Do not try me here.
All they played was transitional basketball.
Yeah.
And it started with fucking Bill Russell, man. Always getting the rebound, always getting the block, and finding the dude that's open every time.
Exactly.
And if he didn't make the assist, he made it's called a hockey assist. He made a pass to where when they play defense with that guy, the other guy come open. Bill Russell was a monster, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a
James
monster.
Dag, let's go by big three. Bob Cousy versus Jerry West, Ross. Who's better?
If we're going by big three, the Lakers by far had the better big three.
Thank you. John Havlicek, Elgin Baylor.
The Lakers
Will
had
Chamberlain, Bill Russell. Come on, man. What are you talking about?
The Lakers had Will Chamberlain, Jerry West, and fucking Elgin Baylor, man.
And they couldn't get the job
All these
done.
dudes was dropping 50 and 40 points at will.
Yeah.
Easy. The difference was Bill Russell. Bill Russell wasn't just a player; he was a coach on the floor.
It was the mental, and the mental was Cousy, Havlicek, and Bill Russell. And this is what Ross talking about. Mentally, when it came to pressure, they just handled it better. Let's just be honest; they handled it better. But they were not the Celtics was not the better team. You don't want to know the only time the Celtics had a monster of a team is when they had the Larry Bird days, because they had Bill Walton, they had Robert Parrish, they had Dennis Smith. Now that was a Celtic team. If you want to talk about a plethora of they had Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale
Danny
was a
Ainge.
man of 1,000 moves, man. Come on, man. Danny Ainge. That was a plethora of a Celtics team. But not this Celtics team you're talking about with Bill Russell.
But those guys are known the way they're known because of Bill Russell. Because all the championships they won.
Yep.
But they didn't win anything until Bill Russell got there.
Until he got there.
If they didn't win all those championships, those guys would be known the way because look at their stats. Just look at their career stats. It ain't nothing crazy.
Yep.
This Bill Russell that got the crazy. You like, damn, he got all those fucking rebounds.
Yep.
Like it's Bill Russell with the crazy stats. And back then, certain stats they didn't even count. So you can imagine what Bill Russell stats would have been if they would have counted the stats they count now.
LeBron James is the most overrated basketball player the NBA has ever seen, man. Because now they're talking about he's passing up. He could potentially pass up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Potentially passing up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar does not make you the greatest basketball player. You know what it does? It just tells us that you have stats. Having stats don't make you. Stats has never been the definition of the cream of the crop. Will Chamberlain has stats.
Stats that lead to championships matter.
Will Chamberlain got stats, and guess what, Ross? He's 2 out of 6 NBA Finals.
Right.
Jerry West got stats, and guess what? He's 1 out of 9 NBA Finals.
Right.
Come on, man.
Stats matter. Stats that lead to championships matter, man. If you pass somebody up in points, but they got more champions than you, and I'm not talking about some role players, so please don't bring Derek Fisher up. I'm talking about
and no Robert Horry.
I'm talking about guys that are actually pertinent and actually relevant in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
If we're equal, and you pass me up in points or any mundane stats, because stats is only a means to a championship.
Right.
But I got more championships than you. Like, bro, we're not talking about the same thing. Because we're equal in stats, pretty much. But I got way more I got more championships than you. And I got a better percentage in the championship game.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why, to me, LeBron will never surpass Kobe. Kobe 71% in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron only 40.
Yep.
How you the greatest and 6% of the time you lose in the most important time?
And that motherfucker ain't never winning no more. Now they saying for him to win a ring, this is how you know he's so overrated. I don't know if you heard about this one, Ross. They said for him to win his next ring, he got to leave LA to go to Phoenix. Who leaves LA to go to Phoenix?
If he leaves LA and goes to Phoenix, only thing he gonna do is fuck up what they got going over there.
Yep.
They already play a certain type of way. When LeBron goes to a team, they gotta play his way, or he don't play.
Facts.
And his way is he hold the ball, and try to get the assist.
There you go.
That's it, man.
If they miss, he'll be right there under the rim to get the rebound along with the assist.
Right. If he can't get a dunk, a layup, then he try to drive and kick it out to somebody in the clutch that shouldn't be shooting the ball with the last seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
But anyway, man. We still got a couple of more topics to get up.
This boy James Dag don't want to let up. The Celtics won the NBA championship because they had a better mindset, not they were a better team. It was defense, man. It was the difference between defense.
Nah, he's missing the point. If Bill Russell was on the Lakers team, the Lakers would have won those championships.
Exactly.
That's what we're saying. Bill Russell is better than Will Chamberlain.
Difference maker.
If Bill Russell, you switch Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, Bill Russell win those championships with the Lakers.
James Dag, go listen to Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain said he had nightmares of Bill Russell. He said, I'm not going to lie, Bill Russell owned me. Even him out of his own mouth said that. But what are you talking about? Come on, man. Enough with this, man.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse for Will Chamberlain, bro.
You don't have to believe that at all, James Dag. You go to YouTube and put Will Chamberlain admits that Bill Russell's better than him, and then come back at me and say, you know how many times I've proven you wrong? And you always come back and say, well, he knows, yeah, you made a point. I want you to do that right now while we're on live. Go put Will Chamberlain admits that Bill Russell's better than him. And when you hear it, you're gonna be like, damn, he knows said that.
Well, James Jack, he's missing. You're missing the point. He said Bill Russell had better. Bill Russell made the team better. He's part of that team. If you switch, if you give Will Chamberlain that team, Will Chamberlain don't beat Bill Russell with the Lakers.
I'm gonna give you another reference, James Dag. Go on YouTube and put Celtics before Bill Russell. I'm a walking encyclopedia. You ain't gonna defeat me in this shit. Put Celtics before Bill Russell, and then put Celtics after Bill Russell. That is gonna enlighten you. You're gonna see what they say. You're gonna be like, damn, shit, I didn't notice. It's clear. These are the reason why you're talking off of one side of the aisle. You don't have all the information. When you have all the information at your disposal, then you can make an informed decision.
He's talking from a biased point of view because he's a Will Chamberlain fan.
And there you go. Ross simplified it. He simplified the word.
He's a Will Chamberlain fan, and he's more stuck on the points that Will Chamberlain did. And he's thinking Will Chamberlain did all this. He should have had more championships, not knowing the reason why he didn't have more championships because he did all that.
Exactly.
He did too much.
Yep.
And when you do too much, you're the single point of failure. Your team loses a lot.
Yep.
Look at LeBron James.
Yep.
Look at Oscar Robertson.
Yep.
These guys did way too much.
Yep.
They're the single point of failure, so it's easy to stop them. You stop Will Chamberlain, you win. Yep. You stop LeBron James, you win.
Yep.
They're the single point of failures.
James Dag, you stuck on Will Chamberlain's impact. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a bigger impact than him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the most points. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar dominated in high school, middle school, high school, college, and in the NBA points-wise. If you want to be stuck on stats, and you want to be stuck on domination, and you want to be stuck on who dominated at every level, who John Wooden said was the greatest basketball player at every level, you got to talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the student of Will Chamberlain, and Will Chamberlain was jealous of him. He stopped hanging out with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was basically skyhooking him and lapping him up on the court. I'm telling you stuff you probably don't even know.
If anybody gets a bad rap and don't get the credit they should get, there's two people. It's Kobe Bryant and it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
For some reason, the NBA don't like to delve into how great those guys was.
Yep.
But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, if we're talking every level of basketball to be played, he's the best player ever.
He dominated every level.
He dominated everywhere he went.
Even street ball.
He dominated everywhere.
Do your homework, man.
He dominated everywhere. Will Chamberlain was dominant, but he was statistically.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this society. They made us weak. We put stats and numbers above the end goal.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if you score 40 rebounds. If you lose the finals, none of those stats mean anything. All those stats are meaningless.
Yep.
You only got, how many championships you got? 2? You only got 2 championships. So all those points mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yep. All your points only led to 2 championships. So how you better than a guy who led his team who won 10 in your era? Come on, man. But anyway, man, we got other topics to get to.
Damn right. Yeah. And we got so far, Ryan Clark donated another $15. No, he donated $15, so that puts us at $75 of donations. We have 125 left to make our goals. So let's keep pushing, y'all, man. Let's keep pushing because we're gonna be on this shit for about a good 3+. So we can make the goal easily. So donate to motivate. I'm gonna say it again: donate to motivate. What do you want to talk about, Ross?
So what we had scheduled to talk about.
Okay, so let's jump right into it, man. We've already given you guys the hellified boxing conversation, but let's talk about this, man. There's this thing going on YouTube, and they did this with Donald Trump. They're doing this with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is not even, she doesn't even look the way she looked before. Let's just be honest here. She's all plasticky. She's all fake. She's all whatever. They hate the ideology and they hate the fact that Chaney Jones has more of a natural look. And I'm not gonna lie, she's enhancing herself a little bit.
Her body is enhanced,
Her body's enhanced,
not her face.
not her face, but she has a more cleaner and a more natural look than Kim Kardashian by far, probably 75% way more natural. And they're running away from the fact that Kanye West is going back to a more natural look. And they hate that. So anytime you do a video where you talk about Chaney Jones looks better than Kim Kardashian, or you do a video where you're basically saying that Chaney Jones is not the next Kim Kardashian, or she's not a copycat of Kim Kardashian, because they look nothing alike. Let's just be honest here. YouTube either shadow bans you. Ross can speak to that because they've done that to his videos. A video that he had trending well over 100K. This shit should have been 1 million views by now. Let's just be honest with this. And then the other factor of this, Ross, the ideology that Kim Kardashian is working hand in hand with YouTube. Yes, we are saying this. This is breaking news right now. This is coming out of Tom Ross TV, Raw, and he knows everything's mouth because we've scoped the radar. We understand the forecast. Kim Kardashian is working with YouTube to stifle Chaney Jones's growth. Because let's be honest, every time Kanye West goes out publicly with Chaney Jones, it's going to take away from the fact that Kim Kardashian is irrelevant. Kim Kardashian was a sex tape, basically Ray J reject. Kanye, she gets with Kanye West. Kanye West makes her relevant. She has $1 billion because of Kanye West now. And then all of a sudden, now she don't know how to dress. Did you guys see her at Bellagio or however you want to say that? Balenciaga. There you go. That's one time I'm not saying something right. Balenciaga. She was at Balenciaga wearing a fucking warning jumpsuit, and she wore this warning jumpsuit, and she could barely fucking walk.
Nah, it wasn't a jumpsuit. They took warning. They took warning tape and taped her body up.
Oh my gosh.
So like the caution tape, like, you know, when there's a crime or somebody got killed and they caution shit off, they took that, wrapped her whole body in it, and said that was fashion.
Salute to Ryan Clark. You donated the $15. I'm glad you're enjoying the show, man. Sit back and relax. We're gonna give you something. Bro. This is one of our subscribers that love all of the facets of what we talk about.
So what Hino spoke about something I confided him in, I'm gonna break it up to y'all. I dropped a short video of Kanye and Chaney Jones, and then at the end of the video, I showed a comparison of Chaney Jones and Kim Kardashian, how she originally looks. Because people get shit confused. How you look enhanced is not you.
Fact.
How you really look is how you look.
Exactly.
And I had her compare, and they don't look nothing alike. Kim Kardashian doesn't look anything like Chaney Jones. And that shit shot up in 3 hours. I was at 80,000 views. In 4 or 5 hours, I had 120,000 views. And then all of a sudden, the video stopped moving. They shadow banned the video. That's when I realized, oh, these guys, YouTube controls narratives.
Exactly.
They don't even give a fuck if you make a video that's going to draw people to their shit. They don't care. If it goes to get the narrative they're trying to push, they'll stop your video. And I was like, damn, these motherfuckers really shadow ban me. Because typically when you got a video that shoot up that fast, you go on the trending list. Like when you click on the YouTube trending, when you have a video that shoot up to 100,000 in a couple of hours, that's trending. That's viral pretty much. Yep. And when they don't push that video, they normally start pushing because everybody want to see it. When they don't push that video, they're letting you know they don't support that narrative. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you said that because I have to shout out Ryan Clark again. Once again, he donated another $5. We now have $80 donations. We got 120 left to go. Salute to Ryan Clark for the $5 donation. That brings the total to 20 on his end. Donate to motivate, man. That's what we talking about here. We're bringing you that heat and that fire. and we keeping the foot on the what on the Knicks. We keeping the foot on the what on the Knicks, and we separating the weak from the strong, man. So
Yeah.
make sure y'all donate to motivate. Let's get this $120 goal so we can get $200 donated before we get off live. But let's get back onto it. Ross, you made a hellified point. And see, what people got to understand is when I look at Chaney Jones, my brick gets hard. When I look at Kim, I don't get hard because I don't know if she's real or not. I don't know what the hell she is.
Right.
Kim never really did it for me. Even when Kim was in her natural state, she never really did it for me, man. I
I never got
always
it.
have been a person that's been always about a natural woman with a natural look. It's just something about you being in your natural state or just being close enough. Shit, Amber Rose do it for me. Being close enough. There's
I,
this thing where if you do enhancements, go to Amber Rose route. Just do the filler shit, but still look natural. Don't sit here and do this Miss Piggy cheeky, Miss Piggy nosy, Miss Piggy, the and then Botox everything on your face. I mean, it looks ridiculous. What happens when you now want your natural look again? Once you mess your face up, you can never get that thing back, man. You know how many celebrities, you know how many superstars, you know how many famous people have messed their face up and they've never been able to get that face back? Let's just be honest here.
I'll never get that back.
They'll never get it back. So Chaney Jones is not Kim Kardashian. They're not even the same nationality. They're not even the same ethnicity. They're not even the same look. It's very clear that they are two different women. The problem is they want to stifle Chaney Jones because they know that in Chaney Jones's growth and her growing, because it's going to happen anyways. Thank you, James Dag. You see, I think the same thing too. She'd be part of my fucking rotation. Chaney Jones is fine as fuck. Let's just be
She
honest
is.
here.
That's the problem. She's naturally beautiful. That's not what they're trying to push right now.
Mm-hmm.
They finally got black women. They Lil Kim was the model.
Mm-hmm.
Nicki Minaj took it to the next level, and then black women started looking up to Kim Kardashian. They
Yep.
finally got black women to say, you know what, my natural beauty is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get on this fake shit. Let me save up $8,000 to go to Mexico and have them the people work on me. Right?
Exactly.
Now you start bringing in these natural looking bitches and now it's making them look stupid.
Exactly.
And now it's making them have pride in their
Mm-hmm.
natural beauty. Now they're not so insecure. Things are bigger than what people think they are.
Mm-hmm.
The infrastructure is the reason why they create the infrastructure to create more money. Like say for instance, the roads. They make the roads in a way so at certain times you get traffic.
Exactly.
Traffic wears and tears on your psyche because you're upset, you're stressed out. It wears and tears on your car.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, because you're always in and out of traffic, what you gotta do? You're gonna eventually have to get brake pads, tires. You eventually gotta get a new car. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they do. So I'm saying that to say this. So let's look at the music game that way. Look at entertainment that way. They have everything the way it is, so you could go through these changes.
Mm-hmm.
Little girls looking at women who don't even look real,
Mm-hmm.
and that's considered beautiful. They consider themselves naturally ugly because they consider someone who's enhanced beautiful.
Yep.
I don't have the money to be enhanced, so I guess my natural look is ugly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So they want fake shit. They want everything to be fake.
Yep.
It's the reason why Kanye West could get up there and have and be talking about something genuine and cry. And they could say Kanye West went crazy. He shed tears in public. That's a real response to trauma. It's for someone to shed a tear. But when a black man you notice when black men share tears, they make it into something funny. They make a meme out of it.
Yep.
They make you a laughing stock for being human because black people aren't supposed to be seen as human.
Facts.
Anything that can humanize you, they come right behind it and they make it into something funny.
Yep.
If black people were smart, they would never make a meme or share a meme where a black man or a black woman crying.
Yep.
Why the fuck is you doing that? What's funny about that?
Yep.
What's funny about that?
And Chaney Jones' parents, the father is black, the mom is white. Just so you know.
Yeah, she's mixed with a lot of shit, but
Mm-hmm.
but the basis, one is black, one is white.
Yep. And the thing with Chaney
So
Jones,
so
and
so
this is the beauty of it. Her
so
parents,
genetically she's black. If your father is a black man, you're black.
there you
Genetically.
go. You might as well just say that. And the beauty of it is when you look at their careers, right? Her father and her mother, her father is a therapist and her mother is a principal. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing with Chaney Jones is a mental health professional herself and she's a CEO. So she doesn't have any accreditation based off of her being basically a sex tape video Harris or someone that had a namesake because she was connected to the OJ Simpson case and all this yada yada yada. They don't want to paint this image of someone who has this ideology growing into the system. So they have to shoot it down because what they want to do is marginalize Kanye West, let's be honest, and keep Kim Kardashian in an elevated state because this is the only thing that she has, and then allow her to extort her kids on TikTok, which is a very dangerous place, a very dangerous medium for young kids because you have a bunch of pedophiles and you have a bunch of weirdos and sickos that prey on these little kids.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the whole thing. Right now, because if she could keep control over the children, she could then extend her relevancy, being relevant at, to the children.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to turn her children into little reality TV stars against Kanye West's will.
Yep.
He don't want them on TikTok. He don't want her. I think if she was doing it a different way, he said specifically, I don't want her on TikTok and makeup.
Yep.
So Kim Kardashian is doing things specifically to upset him.
Mm-hmm.
Cause she ain't then keep putting on TikTok and say, okay, we're not in makeup. She put more makeup on her.
Facts.
She's not a good mother, man.
Mm-mm.
But you have me personally, I'm not studying what white people do. I'm irritated at the black people who are going live and making videos saying Kanye West is the one that's tripping.
Mm-hmm.
As a father, he shouldn't be worried about what a woman do with her kids
Mm-hmm.
because your father didn't give a fuck about what happened to you.
Exactly.
Kanye West not supposed to give a fuck about what happened to his kids.
Yep. Great point.
Your mother was able to gaslight your father out of his life, out of your
Yep.
life.
Yep.
So Kanye West is supposed to go away too, like your dad did.
Yep.
Like, bro, you have to. Some people have to. You got to disconnect your life from what's happening in real life. You might have a
Exactly.
problem with your kid. You might have a problem with your father, but you can't expect all black dads to be like your dad that wasn't in your life. Some
Exactly.
dads are gonna fight for their children. This is how it goes, man.
You make a great and hellified point with that because what people got to understand, and they have to look at this for what it is. Now, Jordan six-time Bishop said, I never found Rihanna or Kim Kardashian pretty. I disagree with one, and I agree with the other. Rihanna is pretty. Is she the prettiest? No. But Rihanna is naturally pretty. Rihanna has
You know,
not changed her look.
I understand him. She's never my type, but when she throw that makeup on, she look pretty good.
Yes. She
She was
never,
never. She's
but
not my
one
type.
thing that I got to
I don't
give,
like how she carry herself.
yeah, the one thing that I got to give her though is she's never changed her look. She hasn't enhanced herself.
It's natural.
Makes sense. So I got to give her credit for that. Is she the prettiest out there? No. She's not all the way my cup of tea.
She's
I
pretty. She's
preferably
like
like
my
a
type. I don't like women that look like that, but she's pretty
yeah,
though. I'm
yeah.
weird
I
like that.
like a thicker Riri. Riri thicker is better. Just like I always like the thicker Beyonce. I never like Beyonce anorexic. So that's more my cup of tea. But I could understand if you say she's probably not all the way up to par, but nah, this
Yeah,
her and Kim Kardashian. If you have to pick between her and Kim Kardashian, she mops the floor with Kim Kardashian, mops the fucking floor with her.
like Beyonce is pretty, but Beyonce. Now, I like Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland is my type.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kelly Rowland is prettier. I
Mm-hmm.
like that more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Now Nia Long, yes, Nia Long. Oof. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say with that. Sanaa Lathan, I ain't got nothing to say with that. So now let them, you now you talking the upper echelon. But see, y'all gotta talk. If y'all gonna talk upper echelon, I'm surprised y'all ain't mentioned
Yeah.
Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray is upper echelon. I don't like her attitude, but her
So,
look,
so now Lathan is bad. Nia Long used to be super bad.
yeah.
So now Lathan is bad. Think about it, these women. There's a reason why these women are single and they're 50.
Mm-hmm.
These women be having fucked up attitudes,
They
bro.
do.
They be having fucked up attitudes. That's the reason why they die alone, man.
They don't bend the knee.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, shit, Sanaa Lathan, shit, man.
Yeah. Jada Pinkett used to be upper echelon, but she fucked her face up.
Yep. And
She
even
fucked
then,
her face
man,
up.
even it wouldn't even matter if she didn't do that. The way she's
Yeah.
acting now in her marriage and how
Mm-hmm.
trashy she's acting, she's
Mm-hmm.
ugly. She's an ugly
Yeah.
person, man.
Exactly.
She's a very ugly.
Holly Berry was upper echelon, but age caught up to her. And she just, that's how the shit is. Some, age catch up. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But now, just touching on this, even Julia Fox, and I've said this, white women are not my cup of tea like that. I prefer my black queens any day of the damn week. But Julia Fox looks better than Kim Kardashian. Let's just be honest about that. There's a more natural look. There's a better
She's
look.
she's a better overall person, bro. It exudes off of her.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like people don't realize how much your attitude, how you think, play into how you look. Like some niggas, they don't really have women like that. They don't really have a lot of sex like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just geared towards just how you look. But when
Yep.
you dealing with men who travel the world that had women everywhere, bro, you
Mm-hmm.
start looking at women. The look brings you in.
Mm-hmm.
Sit around. The conversation make you stay.
Yeah.
The way they treat you cements you.
Yeah.
You look good, but you ain't talking about shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know how to treat a man. You might as well be ugly.
I haven't got to my shorts yet with this, but I have a shorts collection that I'm gonna be doing where I'm gonna show you the difference between everyday beautiful women that get overlooked for diaper booty, Kendall Jenner, these types of motherfuckers that black men go for. I don't understand this, man. I don't know what's up with y'all, man. Y'all, let me tell you something. Men are the standard of what beauty represents. Beauty to me, everybody's different. And I'm not going to tell you how to identify what beauty represents to you. Beauty to me is a woman with a natural look, you know what I'm saying, in her most natural state. I love her natural cellulites. I want her natural stretch marks. I look at these things as beautiful imperfections. I don't mind if she has a little weight on her. I don't mind if she has a little stomach on her. These things are natural because it's natural evolution of how a woman is supposed to look. All of this superficial tummy tuck this is not realistic, and that's what people don't understand. All of this, we gotta do Photoshop. We gotta zing our face and make it look smaller, or this thing where I call it
Mm-hmm.
fish lips. All these women when they take these selfie photos, raw, they do fish lips. They go like this.
Mm-hmm.
They always do the fucking fish lips. Y'all know what I'm talking about, guys.
They do that because they think they feel like they feel their
Yeah,
face is too fat and they want to narrow it.
that shit looks
That's why they
stupid as
do that.
fuck. I prefer you to just give me a normal smile and just give me a normal look, and I can see your beauty in that. And then they do these little things where they put flowers and all that. I don't care about all that, man. I want to see you. And this is what we've gone away from, man. We've gone away from this natural state, this natural look of what the looks should look like. You know how many bad women there are out there. And I'm talking about, man, there's a whole continent, and me and Ross were talking about that Africa, man, and Tanzania and all that. Man, there's so many bad women in the United States, everywhere, all these places, Brazil, you name it. There's so much bad looking women out there that get overlooked because what you guys have said is beauty is Kim Kardashian. I have a fundamental problem with that. I have a huge problem with that.
That's right. That's right. And I believe even Kanye came to the realization that a part of his dream was always to have. He said this shit. He said in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he said, "Man, I want to live I'm living a rock star life, man."
Okay, Ross, here you go.
What
I want you
was
to
that?
see it. I'm showing all y'all. You see this? The
Yeah,
shorts that I just did with Chaney Jones. Look what
yeah.
YouTube just did. I'm gonna show you. So you right.
Good.
You right.
If you
I'm showing y'all that
make it
right now. You
if you
see?
make it any if you make anything that's pro,
This is how you could tell. They said that I put sex and nudity in this video. How the hell did I put sex and nudity in this damn video? Why did they remove this content? It's because they don't want to promote. They don't want to promote Kim Kardashian basically being obsolete. I told y'all. Y'all think I'm lying.
if
Ross is
right
right.
now, yeah,
Ross, this is proof. This is
if
fucking
you
proof
drop a
right here.
video that's pro Chaney Jones and anti, or even just now, I wouldn't even say anti, just telling the truth about Kim Kardashian, they are either shadow banning the video or they'll remove it. Like
Yep.
this case is extreme. They let me drop mine. They just let me. They just marginalized how far I could go. They topped me off.
Yep.
They took his shit down.
Yep. Yep. They took it
They
down.
took
They
his shit
removed my
down.
video.
That go to show you, people. This is why you can't. Every time you hear something about a black man, stop running to and believe in it.
Yep.
The fact that it made it to the news, it's a narrative.
Yep.
It's a narrative.
I'm disappointed now. Now I believe Ross when Ross said it from the beginning. I'm disappointed. I am very disappointed that happened because now it's telling you guys they don't want to promote a black woman and they don't want to promote a more natural looking black woman. They want to keep this whole Kim Kardashian is the standard of what women should look like. Bullshit. That's what they want to keep up. You see, Ryan Clark said facts. Beautiful natural women are the best. They are. There's no doubt about that. Give me some dreads or give me a natural look. Give me your natural combed out hair. I don't need none of that perm bullshit. Give me that natural look. I'll take that any day of the week.
Black men have always wanted that. This where black men fuck up at.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, before I'm gonna get into that, then I'm gonna double back to something else that's more potent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this first. Where black men fuck up at is you settle for whatever the woman give you.
Exactly.
If you know you want a natural look, then you can't be with a woman that's not give you a natural look.
Mm-hmm.
That will groom them to know this shit that you doing, we don't like.
Yep.
You can't settle for something just because you want somebody in your bed.
And you know why they want to settle for that shit? Because they looking more at the tits and the ass instead of the look.
Man, you can have her, you can have fun with her for a night and then be done with her.
Exactly.
You settling down and being with a woman who you can't look at every day and appreciate because you don't like the weave, the way, like, man, never again. But going back to some shit, I feel like it's more pertinent.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they say you have freedom of speech, and YouTube say there's parameters. As long as you stay in these parameters, you can drop videos. But whenever you drop videos that's against the narrative, they take them down.
Mm-hmm.
For i.e., during the corona, during the peak of corona, if you made any video that was contrary to their narrative on that, they took your shit down. I know because it happened to me.
Yep.
So they control narratives. They control narratives, man.
Yep.
There's no way in hell that you just drop a regular short that ain't break no rules and they snatch it down and say you broke rules.
All because what? I said that Chaney Jones is better looking and looks nothing like Kim Kardashian. Come on, man. All because I made fun of Kim Kardashian wearing warning all over her fucking body, which is stupid as fuck. He said, facts. That's why me and my son mom didn't make it. She cared what others thought of her appearance than me. Shaking my damn head. Bye. You're absolutely right. Let me tell you guys something. Women, especially black women, have adopted this mentality. If you go look at other nationalities of women, they don't carry on feminism. They don't carry on being feminist. The main culprits that say they are feminists are black women. And the reason why they've indoctrinated and they've put this embedded theology in black women's minds is to separate the black family. So they
Yep.
won't have a black male, a black female, and a child in the home. If you go look at white women, you go look at Hispanic women, you go look at these other cultures, these women submit to their men. They are in marriages, they are in homes, situations where the man is in the home and they have kids. But it is our women that they've put and indoctrinated in an embedded theology in their brains that you should be you should be feminist, you should engage in feminism. And you know what perpetuated this? This all started with the whole food stamp era. Because in order to give you food stamps and in order to give you government assistance, they told you the man couldn't be in the home in order for you to get it. So from that genre and that time of having that, they've gone from generation after generation say, well, you know, you can't have that man in the home if you want to keep collecting your government assistance. You can't have that man in the home if you want to keep collecting your checks and stuff like that, your snaps and all this stuff. And they've indoctrinated that. And then if you notice, every time they do shows, every time they do movies, every time they do these things, they're basically emasculating black men, showcasing them in a homosexualized fashion. Because when you look at a
Or
lot of shows, who's
aggressive
the
brute.
homosexual person?
Or if you're not homosexualized, they make you just aggressive ape. You just all you know
Exactly.
is violence and just knocking shit over and slapping bitches around. Like you
Exactly.
know what I mean? That's
And
not how.
if they don't put you in those positions, you know what they also put you in? They put you in the box of baby mama, baby father. This is what you see in these reality shows like Love and Hate Chicago or Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is my baby father, my baby dad. They never use the terms husband and wife. But if you notice with other cultures, this is the terminology that they use. This is another form of slavery. It's an economic form. It's a marginalizing social
Mental.
media form. This is how they get you. And they've indoctrinated this through neural linguistic programming to screw people's brains into thinking that this is acceptable behavior. And because they know that we love money and we will sell our soul for money above anything else, we'll take the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how they get us each and every single time. It's sad, but it's the truth. I'm getting that check.
Yeah.
This is how they did. This is how they do gentrification and move you out of neighborhoods. They tell you because they know you live in paycheck to paycheck. Oh, here's 50,000, but your house is worth like 500,
Mm-hmm.
and they move you out. And the person who pays the 50,000 takes the property, gentrifies the neighborhood, and bring in your culture into your neighborhood. They have soul. They have jazz. This is how much they piss on you and shit on you. They bring in your culture of jazz and all of that, and then who you see enjoying your own culture in your own gentrified neighborhood. It ain't people that look like you. I can guarantee that.
Right. And that goes to show you to they had the power to create a neighborhood that is inviting the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. They strip it of its resources,
Yep.
bring the property value down because black people feel like to feel black. We feel like it's okay to kill each other to survive, not knowing we can work together to survive longer.
Mm-hmm.
Working together don't even come into our faculties. So after we done killed each other and brought the property value down, they come buy everything up. The next thing you know, they start putting shit in the neighborhood that actual people need.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Amusement, things for amusement, groceries, shit that new parks. They start doing all this shit because white people finna live there now.
Yep. And they have a Target. If you notice, Target has always been the upgrade from Walmart. In in
Target.
in 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 in, in, in basically minority field areas or areas where it's considered urban. They got to give you that terminology. Basically, it's just a nice way to say hood, nice way to say ghetto. It's just a modernized version of saying that. They always throw a Walmart. They put a super Walmart in there. But take your ass over to a neighborhood that is not quote unquote urban or quote unquote hood or ghetto. You can always see a Target there, a Target. And you know what else you also gonna see there? A fucking Starbucks. This is not a coincidence, man. This is by design. They do this by design. The neighborhoods that they think bring more value, bring more intrinsic and extrinsic value from a financial standpoint, they give them more. Because in their minds, they feel that if we give them this, they're not gonna come in here, they're not gonna rob, they're not gonna beat up. They don't care in a super Walmart if you go in there and you do all of this havoc that you do. Walmart's still gonna make their money because they know if they just bring the prices down to a certain level, everybody's gonna go in there and still buy what they need to buy. So Walmart is set up for that type of system. But if you go to Target, notice there's a certain type of people that go to Target. It's different, man. I'm telling you, these things are not by design. These things are on purpose. And we sit here sleeping in slumber mode, not paying attention to what's going on in front of us. And this is why when you go to Target, what you see in those environments, in those areas, I kid you not. Go to Target and go to Walmart. Ryan Clark, you're gonna say, man, the next time we go live, you're gonna say this. Ross, when you gonna start paying attention, you're gonna see this.
I already know this.
Okay, so Ross already know. When you go to Walmart, Ryan Clark, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see baby mamas and baby daddies walking up the aisles. I kid you not, man. I know what I'm talking about here. Go to Target and you're gonna see more families walking up the aisles. You're gonna see husband, wife, and kid. You're gonna see that way more prevalent in Target. But if you go to Walmart, you're gonna see some minority walking up with their kid. There's no father around. It's just a single parent environment. And it's just going to be a multiplicity of that over and over and over again. There's a reason for that, man. And you guys don't realize how big businesses, big corporations do these things on purpose because they understand the class difference, but they also understand how to box your ass in difference. He said they're building condos and high-end apartments all over Atlanta now. Everybody moving here. Facts. I'm glad you from the ATL. I went to Atlanta recently, and I didn't recognize Atlanta like I did when I was in the military. It was completely different. I was like, man, where all these hood spots at, man? And when I went there, it wasn't hood spots, man. It was different. Shoot, down in Florida, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now, and it bothers me to say this. Little Haiti is being gentrified like crazy, man. I went down there and I was like, where the Haitians at? The area is filled with a bunch of people that are not Haitians, and they're enjoying Haitian food, they're enjoying Haitian music. And there's a strip now called Wynwood that's not too far away from Little Haiti that's thriving like nobody's business. And it ain't people that look like none of us. But we sit there so that we can show that we belong. We sit there and we do this stupid thing, right? Where we say, well, I'm going to Wynwood to celebrate Wynwood. Well, we have places in our own neighborhoods and our own areas that we could go to.
Black niggas don't feel like they're doing nothing unless they're around white people.
Exactly.
They don't feel like wherever they're going ain't nothing. Whatever they wearing ain't nothing. It gotta be connected to somebody white.
Yep.
This is the reason why you got Joe Budden that could come on his show and say it's one thing not to wear Yeezy. It's another thing to say every show Yeezy is trash while you wearing a Fendi hat.
Yep.
That's trash.
Yep.
It'd be different if he was wearing like some Gucci that was actually fire. You're wearing the worst version of Gucci, but you wear it just because it's Gucci. But you're openly tearing down a black man's dream.
Yep. Or saying we're not going to buy a STEM player we're gonna find a way to cheapskate. We're not gonna pay the $200. We're not gonna support.
We're gonna steal. He openly said steal the music. He openly said steal the music.
Mm-hmm.
When has he ever openly said to steal any white man's music?
Yep.
He will never say openly steal Eminem's music.
Nope.
Never. He will never do that. So
Nope.
why would you do that to Kanye?
Exactly.
The problem is we black people don't want to admit this, as a community.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fear of the white man,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a low key a worship of the white man.
Facts.
Niggas find it hard as fuck to hold white people accountable for anything.
Yep.
Not the race card, but just accountable for shit they do. So I got in trouble for being late and I'm throwing the race card out to save myself. Not that. I'm talking about just holding them accountable for the shit they do.
Mm-hmm.
I got a problem with that. But we can hold that. We can hold black people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're way too harsh on our own people. Way too harsh. We support everything they do. At one point or another, every high fashion white owned company has said or did something racist. That don't stop us from supporting them. But we got a problem with a black person coming out with their fashion shit. Now they got to meet all these different standards. See, that's the reason why I can't support. I can't support because, man, see, Kanye, man, he always in the media. I can't support him. You support Gucci?
Mm-hmm.
You support Fendi? These people said they don't even like black people. They said, fuck niggas. So it comes down, it don't be having nothing to do. It comes down with the mental block of niggas feeling like it's not anything unless it's supported and unless it's promoted by white folks.
Facts.
That's the reason why you got niggas that trying to go to Windward, niggas trying to find where the white people at and eat around them because they feel like they have arrived.
Yep.
They feel like they have arrived.
Yeah, and they feel that's and you know what's sad about it? That's what they falsely tell themselves they're in their most comfortable state. Anytime I go to Florida, man, I'm hanging out in black spots, man. I'm at Haitian restaurants. I'm around my people. I'm around spots where I know my people gonna be at. Whether if it's a strip club, you name it, I'm gonna be around my fucking people, man. I just love my people because there are places where my people behave. And you just got to know where they fucking behave. I'm not gonna be around, jungle rats and people that's not fucking behaving because I'm a man of a certain age, and I can't just be around that kind of shit. But there are places where our people actually behave, and we need to support our own, and stop supporting all of these other people that really, when they see you in there, they give you this look of disgust, like, what the hell are you doing here? Go step into a place where it's not too many of people that look like you. And then you walk in. Everybody stops what they're doing. They get to that staring. You know they staring? They staring with the stares of, why the fuck are you here? Who the fuck asked you to be here?
That's their.
And when the fuck are you leaving?
It's more than just their disgust.
Yep.
It's their unity in making you feel uncomfortable so you never come back.
Exactly.
It's all purposely done. It's built in genetically.
Yep.
They want your swag.
Yep.
Some of them want your colors.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them want your lips. Some of them want your butt. Some of them want your masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want you. If they could take everything about you and just erase you,
yep,
they would do that.
Yep.
And black people need to realize that a lot of college-educated black people have that bad. They always trying to validate themselves to what, even the most successful black men, like you might hear them on YouTube, like Kevin Samuels. He says a lot of good things. I'm a follower of his, but you can tell he has that mentality to where he's always trying to impress white men.
Yep, you can tell.
He's always trying to impress white men. That's his standard.
Yep.
The white man's his standard. What he don't realize is white men look up to him, but his standard is white men. So a lot of times when people make good points to talk about how the system is corrupt, he shuts that down because he has white men in his circle he don't want to offend. So he shuts that system shit down and he pushes back. And it's right because we do have our own responsibility, but your responsibility and what you do is molded by the society you've been placed in.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, black people wouldn't kill each other naturally because you like that you look at that person as your brother. But if
Mm-hmm.
you thrown in a society where everywhere you turn around, all you know is black people fighting each other,
Yep.
and all you know is white people reaching out to be validated by black people reaching out to be validated by white people, and they don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about what no nigga gotta say, but they always
Mm-hmm.
trying to be validated by white people.
Mm-hmm.
You might grow up to do that too naturally.
Yep.
So we can't eliminate the system's control on our decision making.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And his weakness that he got to work on is that he still has that part of him, that college educated part of him. So he probably went to a college where it was only just him, and he had to adapt. And he had to become like them to survive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he has to work on because you could tell he still has this thing where he wants to be validated. But and there's a lot of black college educated people like that
Mm-hmm.
to whom they feel like they're better than non-educated black people,
Yep.
and they feel like they have to reach where white people at to be
Yep.
considered a success.
Yep.
All right, salute Ryan
All
Clark,
right, so Ryan Clark, appreciate you, man, with the donation, bro. Yeah,
and salute sir,
get your ass to work, man. Yeah, you know,
and,
get your sleep in, so you can get to work, man.
and salute Surgeon of Death. €10. €10 is different from $10. That's probably like $12 in
Yeah,
American money.
exactly. So salute for that. We appreciate that. So that's basically that put us at what 92. So that's about 108 left. So salute to Ryan Clark for your super chats and your donations, bro. You sleep well, man. Catman Namtac, you got a
I
great
agree.
comment. You got a
I
great
agree.
comment that Ross is gonna be all over that comment, but I'm gonna tell you right now, donate to motivate, and we can talk about it. Just drop $20-$25 donation, and we'll talk about that all day, every day.
Surgeon of Death. It's that crabs in the barrel mentality, exactly. But people don't realize is this.
Mm-hmm.
This is my thing with Kevin Samuels. It is a crabs in the barrel mentality because we all in the barrel, and then we got black people who are fucking shit up.
Yep.
But we never understand the white person who put us in the barrel.
Yeah.
Crabs ain't supposed to be in barrels.
Yep.
Crabs supposed to be at the bottom of the ocean. Crabs supposed to
Yep.
be on the shoreline, free.
Yep. They're bottom feeders.
The fact that you in a barrel means you put in a zone so you can do what you're doing.
Yep. You put in a
Purposely.
higher position than what you need to be.
Right. You put in a systematic place so you can tear the other person down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way for you to get out.
Yep.
So we always say crabs in the barrel, crabs in the barrel. We never focus on the fact that crabs ain't supposed to be in a barrel. Now who put us in that barrel?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Who boxed us
It's like
in? Who niched
we have
us?
we have a lot of black people who try to alleviate what the other societies have done to hold us back.
Facts.
It hasn't just been us. We've had a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Catman Namtac, Jay-Z's my go-to music, but I ain't mad if y'all say Kanye West. I have Kanye West as a very, very close number 2, but I ain't mad if y'all say Kanye West is the GOAT, because I've been listening to Kanye West as of late, and he's been hitting me hard. So I can see where y'all coming from. You know what I'm saying when it comes to that.
Jay-Z is my GOAT of actual rapping, words
Mm-hmm.
in a microphone, but he's not my GOAT of music.
Okay.
Not of music. It's
Okay.
rapping, holding the microphone, rapping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But the spitter, yeah, no one does that. He's mastered that. But just crafting a whole album and being able to craft this, yeah, Kanye is just greater at that.
It's just a difference of opinions, but
So it's
rapping to
like
me is a form of music, so that's the way that I look at it. But it's just a difference of opinions. But I ain't mad at Kanye West. I ain't mad at people saying that. Now, let's just say I'm not mad at that. That's just like the comparison between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I ain't mad at that. Either way you go, I ain't mad. I am not mad either way you go. You can pick either way. I want to say this, and I need to make this very clear, because I feel like we have to talk about this stuff because it's very important. There's this thing, Ross talked about the crabs in the barrel mentality, but what people got to understand is black people have this thing where, and it's a beautiful thing because I want to talk about the positivity. They're starting to wake up.
Yep.
They're starting to see things more and more for what it is. They're starting to question things. We're starting to see more Republican back black people. Um, we talked about the Chaney Jones situation and all of that. And look, they removed my content for what? I followed every fucking community guidelines rules. I don't know why they removed it,
You always
but
follow. You always follow all this shit.
yeah, I
Always.
always follow all this shit, and that's the
So
true
so
part. Ross
so
will tell you
so
that
so so when they remove your shit, it's obvious that what I'm
it's
saying
obvious.
is not just blowing smoke. I'm not trying to draw attention to my channel. It's the
Hmm.
truth.
No, and you
It's
draw
the
attention
truth.
to your fucking channel because it's the truth. That's what they did, and Donald Trump is slowly but surely creeping his way back. He's gonna become president again. Mark my words. I'm saying this. I'm sure Ross feels the same way. This dude is going to become president again. They pulled his video off of YouTube after getting 20 plus million views. Ross, I want you to enlighten these people and talk about that because that's something we also have to shed a light on as well. Because this is the same Donald Trump that has gotten a lot of prominent people out of prison, like the Kodak Blacks of the world, guys that
Hey, Rocky.
the ASAP Rocky, all of these people that they were trying to keep up under the hole in a prison cell. He got them out. So I want you to enlighten and talk about that, man.
Um, me personally, I don't have no personal stake in politicians because I realize they all work together
Mm-hmm.
to keep the status quo the status quo. But I do have a problem with the same energy not being presented.
Mm-hmm.
So, matter of fact, I just, it's crazy that my best friend of all time sent me this shit earlier today. I'm gonna play it for y'all.
I don't want to. We're not scared of getting hit, though. I mean, I think that's why
You may be scared. No, you. Let me tell you what you wish for. Let me tell you where you'll be scared. When they say, we're going to take you off the air if you put this up. Okay? Let's see whether or not everybody in this room, all you camera geniuses and young geniuses, a lot of people, let's see how brave, when they say, because you guys are doing very well, and Dana thinks the world of you, we all think the world of you. And I'm not even necessarily going to blame you, maybe I will a little bit.
Hmm.
You put it up. Let's see what happens when they take it down.
I don't think YouTube would take it down. There's no way.
Take down the podcast.
They took it
He made
down.
it clear. He made it clear. And you know why they took it
They
down?
took it down. Why did they take it
Because
down?
just like Kanye West, he's controversial.
Because they have a narrative.
Yep.
And YouTube is liberal white.
Yep.
Fox is traditional white. CNN is liberal white.
Mm-hmm.
Liberal white is how many of y'all watch Atlanta? I need to know in the comments. If you watch Atlanta, type ATL in the comments.
It's been a minute since I watched it, but you put me back on that shit, so I'm gonna start watching it.
The first episode of this Atlanta, the first episode, it's a black kid who lives with a bitter black mom, and he goes to school and he's doing regular black kid. He get in trouble for being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
His mother comes to the school. She does a little too much, but not too crazy. But the white teacher gets him taken out of his home and sent to live with white liberal women, lesbians.
Facts.
They got 3 other black children in there, and as soon as they come in the door, they change their names.
Yep.
So they changed his kid's name. He been getting called one name all his whole life. They changed his name. They got these kids working around the house like slaves. They got them in the fields, working in the fields like slaves.
Yep.
But they're saying all the liberal shit, all the shit that black people get comfortable with.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know all this shit like you're a credit to your race type shit.
Yep.
Liberals say that, man. Racist white folks don't say that. Racist white folks don't talk to you, man.
Yep.
Like when I say race, when I say not racist, when I say traditional, crackers don't talk to black people.
Yep.
They stay their distance, bro. If y'all work together, they'll work with you, get the job done, and they'll just go home.
Exactly.
Believe it or not, it's easier to work with real racist white people than it is to work with liberals. Liberals are
Facts.
sneaky. Liberals
Facts.
say little slick shit like, man, I know you know how to rap. Regular crackers don't say that shit. Regular,
No.
they don't talk to you, bro. They get the job done and go home. It's the liberals that say shit like
Facts.
the liberal white woman that say, shit like, so do all you people know how to sing? We as black, we be so happy that white people talking to us. We don't even be knowing that we getting this.
Exactly.
Why the fuck is they asking you about something like that, man? You know what I'm saying? So I said that to say this about that situation. YouTube is a very liberal. It's a very liberal. It's ran company. So if they let anything about a Republican say anything or anything that's controversial, anything that gets their narrative, it's only going to be in a way where they can make fun of it.
Yep.
If they can't make fun of it, or if it gets too popular, if they don't like the narrative, they'll take it down.
Exactly.
And this is why you can't say, "Oh, I don't like how somebody speaks. I don't want to hear them speak."
Facts.
Because you're saying, as soon as you say something people don't want to hear, now they can cut you off.
Exactly.
And now they can tear you down.
Yep.
So we should, as black people, we too sensitive.
Yep.
And we don't understand how white people talk.
Exactly.
You have some white people that'll just call you the N-word. Those actually the ones that you want to fuck with. Because at least you know they're your enemies. And you got some who are cool. Yeah, you're my bro, blah, 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 blah. Then behind your back, they're like, man, I can't stand that nigga, man. You know what? Then they play a thing to where they fucking with you in the office. And they're nice and they're doing this, but behind your back, and you know, such and such came in 2 minutes late.
Yep.
Now they got you frustrated all day because you didn't do that. And now you got to go through changes. You got to show in the system that you clocked in at this time. And all the while, they're all playing the game on you, man.
Exactly.
That's the liberals. That's YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube will allow a black woman to get beat up by 30 different kids, and it'll be on YouTube with millions of views. I posted one video of a white dude that was aggressive toward a white woman. They took that shit down, and I got struck for that shit right away. Yep. So you can post violence with black people. You can't post violence between two white people.
Yep.
Unless it's a sport.
Yep.
That's how they do. That's liberal. That's the unseen racism black people understand. All we understand is KKK, swastikas, and rebel flags. That's what we don't realize. Racism is way bigger than those symbols, man.
Yep.
The fact that if you speak your mind, you being aggressive, but somebody else speaking their mind, they're giving good feedback. That's racism, man. Because now that marginalized you, now you can't speak. Now you feel trapped in that you can't even express yourself at work. Because every time you express yourself, you're being upset. You're being unruly. All the other races, they can express themselves, man. They can say, you know, I don't really like this, Bob. You know, when you did this, I felt you were being demeaning. And when you said, they were like, man, whoa. Hey, you're being too loud. I feel attacked. That's racism, bro. That's the system. And that's the problem with black people is niggas don't understand what racism really is.
Yep.
They don't understand the difference between being prejudiced and being racist.
Yep.
Prejudice is the rude shit that niggas do, like, we'll serve the straight up point blank, I'll serve your kind. That's prejudice, man.
Yep.
Because that same man that told that nigga he don't serve his kind in his restaurant, if it's something that he can't do and a black man can do it better, he'll pay him to do it.
Facts.
You can't come in my house and you can't eat at my table, but if you could lay down this concrete better than me, I'll pay you to do it. He's not stopping you from getting no money. The person who's stopping you from expanding your family, stopping you from advancing at work, throwing you in jail for things that they tap other people on the hand for, that's systematic racism. That's different. What Trump was doing, Trump was being prejudiced. You wasn't following the moves. The moves, what he was doing, what he did in his 4 years, he did more than what Obama did in 8. If you was following the moves, you would have had no problem with Trump. You was worried about what he was saying. He had to say that to keep them white folks voting for him. Because it's the racists that put him in. It's the racists and the so-called feminine, liberal white woman. They all voted for Trump too. Yeah, the white woman that worked there is like, man, I love black guys. Man, I love having sex with black guys. She voted for Trump too. Nigga, like this nigga don't understand how this world works. Everybody ride with each other except for black people.
Yep.
We the only ones playing double dutch when it comes to our people.
Yep.
Only ones. Everybody else, they ride fully.
Yep. And I'm getting a lot of comments that's coming in right now from me basically talking about ass. I did a shorts about ass pads or whatever. The shit was funny as hell. Where I showed the white woman putting on the ass pad so that she could look a certain way or whatever. And it's interesting how people are commenting and co-signing this behavior and basically saying that no, man, it ain't like that, man. When she's just trying to look a certain way. I said, look, it still doesn't
She don't
negate
look
the
that
fact
way
that
naturally.
it still doesn't look the fact that it's disturbing. Like Ross just said, she doesn't look like that naturally. So it's okay to enhance yourself like that and still not be repulsed. People can actually be repulsed by that. And see, I pulled up AOC, right? Everyone knows who AOC is. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? I pulled her ass up, and man, I ain't gonna lie, she's a badass Puerto Rican looking woman. I'll give her that. If that's your cup of tea, I'll give you that. But here's the thing: what people have to understand is these types of people are what's wrong with politics, because what they do is they read on you and they scare on you with emotions. If you looked at the liberal side, the reason why they've always been the way that they've been is because they've mastered the art of scaring you with emotional tactics. They don't give you realities of how to change and impact things. Joe Biden scared you with the emotion of Donald Trump is the worst person ever. Kamala Harris, same thing. Donald Trump is the worst person ever. How dare he be so blunt, and how dare he be so direct when he's actually helping out people that look like myself and Ross, more small black businesses, way more than these people are, when they're sitting there and taking black men and black women and filling them up in jails. They're not telling you these types of things. They're not telling you how there's a bunch of people in positions of power and celebrities that could have still been in jail if Trump didn't go and say, you know what, this person's situation doesn't make sense. This person needs to be pardoned. But if you would have left it to Joe Biden, you would have left it to Kamala Harris, who they tried to paint you a picture of her being black. In actuality, she's not. She's an Indian woman. And y'all fell for it. And this is the thing with black people. They get sucked on stupid and fall for the dumbest shit ever. They're sitting here saying, because we grew up Democrat and because we've been taught from generation to generation to be Democrat, this is all we know. So then you have people like AOC with scare tactics to tell you, this is why I am Democratic, because of the fact that, we are free thoughts. We have a free thought. We have a liberal sense of how we see things. We're not boxed in. Let me tell you guys something. The liberal thought 100% goes against you as a human person. Every human has a yin and a yang. You do realize that, right? Every human being has a conservative thought and a liberal thought embedded in them. Nobody's all fucking liberal and nobody's all fucking conservative, even if they tell you this is the side that they're on. Most people by nature are moderate in the way that they think, because there are intrinsic views that they have, which is internal views that they have that are conservative, and there are extrinsic views, which is external views that they have that are liberal. And you can find this in each and every single individual. So when you find people that are real about expressing these things, they want to say these people are polarizing, hence Donald Trump, hence Kanye West. And this is how I was contextualize it back to its original point. And this is why a Donald Trump can do a video running for campaign. He's well within his right to do that. He's paying. He is a politician that is paying for his own campaign, but yet a social media forum is telling a campaigner that we're going to remove your content. That is not right. That is not constitutional. That
That's not
breaks the Fifth
constitutional.
Amendment.
That's not constitutional. But this how they know they could get away with it. They got you emotional.
Yep.
So when they got you emotional about somebody and they break their constitutional right to freedom of speech because you dealing your emotions, you allow that to happen. It don't settle you until they do it to you. When they do it to you, if somebody marginalizes you at work and say you can't speak on something, then you realize like, oh, this is a system. I can speak as long as I say something that you agree with. As soon as I say something that you don't agree with, now I do no longer have the right to speak.
Yep.
Since when YouTube delete an interview, there was no curse words, there was no threats to nobody. A 20 million view interview. Since when they delete that? That's good for their
Yep.
site. They just deleted it.
Yep.
Think about that. And he called it. He knew they was going to do that shit.
Yep. And the thing that people got to understand, and it's a big thing. The big thing is this: when it's all said and done, and it's important for people to understand, Kanye West and Donald Trump, although they look completely different, they're dealing with the same problem. They're marginalized because of one thing that they share in common. If they don't share skin color and they don't share ideologies, they share the fact that they both tell it how it is. And when you are a person who tells stuff how it is, you have to carry a cross, man. You want to know what the cross is? It's called the cross of people don't want to hear what you got to say, because they know every time you open your mouth, you're going to have something that's going to be the truth. And everyone's not ready and willing to accept it. Most people would prefer to sleep in a slumber and hear some bullshit and fuck shit and stuff that's a lie than rather hear the truth, because that is easier to the psychology, it's easier to the mind, it's easier to the cerebellum, it's easier to the medulla oblongata, it's easier to your brain pattern to hear something that sounds soothing, even if it's a lie. But the truth hurts. The truth is sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, even unto the joints and marrows. The truth basically penetrates your molecular DNA structure. This is how powerful the truth is. So when it does that, it creates and it shatters in people's minds this ideology that people cannot accept it. Because the truth, you know what's in the truth? It's called change. And change is a very hard thing for people to accept, because people love familiarity breeds complacency. You guys have heard this terminology. Familiarity breeds complacency. They don't want to hear the truth because the truth challenges those ideologies. So if I tell people that you being democratic all this time was a form of slavery, oh, hell no. Man, I don't want to hear that shit. That's not the truth. This is how I grew up. This is how I was raised.
If you're loyal to any party, you're a slave.
Yeah.
You should not be loyal to a party. You should be choosing each thing you vote for should be different depending on what they do.
Yep.
And what they plan on doing. So you should not have a thing where you voted all Democrat. My daddy was a Democrat. My mom was a Democrat. My so I'm gonna be a Democrat. No, because all Democrats don't have they don't have a mission statement that's gonna help your people. Some instances, it's better for you to vote a Republican for this. You might need a Republican alderman. You might need a Democrat senator, but you might need a Republican state governor.
Yep.
You should not be politically loyal to anybody. It's all about what they're willing to do for you. This is a business transaction.
Yep.
Your vote is currency. If you're gonna vote,
yep,
you don't vote to anyone who hasn't earned your vote. What have they done to earn your vote? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like niggas just be like, I'm a Democrat. They just vote all Democrat all the way down. That's how we got laws where they can just target black people.
Yep.
Super predators is what they was calling 13-year-old boys.
Yep.
Then they make a movie around the same time to push Hollywood, the music, all that. They all work together with the politics.
Exactly.
At the same time they're pushing the super predator mentality. They're making movies called The Predator.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess I gotta say it again. Donate to motivate.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. You're getting great content, man. If you're getting great content, donate to motivate, man. I mean, you're getting two. YouTube has never seen this before. You're getting two deep, motivated, intrinsic brothers that are giving you guys content at the highest levels. And you're getting it from both of our polarizing different styles. Although we're similar, we are different individuals in the way that we comport ourselves, in the way we carry ourselves in our everyday affairs. You're not ever going to see this again, this kind of level of true brotherhood. And if you start seeing it, it's going to be basically mimications and imitations of this original state here. We basically are the pristine forefathers of this. So this is why, like Tom Ross said so eloquently, come on, y'all, donate to motivate. It's just really that simple. But I want to say one more last thing, and then Ross, we're gonna leave. This is something that I have to say because I think it's very important. And this has nothing to do with everything else we covered. It has more so to do with Tom Ross TV Raw and Tom Ross TV. I don't like every time this man is getting successful traction. And I have to say this because I can say this on wax, and I know YouTube reviews everything, so they'll hear this in their review, and I hope they hear it. Every time this man gets traction, they want to stop progress. Just because a person doesn't agree with you, that doesn't mean you don't stop their progress, especially when the person is following all the rules. If they're following all of the rules and they make conversational pieces and topics that are not basically what you stand for or you're diametrically opposed to, that doesn't require for them to sit on the bench. Doesn't require for you to remove their content. I follow all the rules. You removing my content. Come on, man. If you have community guidelines, you have rules in place, and we're following the rules. If we're saying stuff that doesn't agree with your principles and your core values, we're not breaking rules. So with that being said, the content should stay up. There should be no suspension. A suspension should only be there if there is something that is legitimate, that's legitimizing the suspension. This man should not have to wait 7 days to sit on the bench because you guys don't like what he's saying. That is wrong. That is egregious. It's illegal. It breaks the Fifth Amendment, and it breaks the reality of what our country is supposed to stand on. Are we supposed to stand on the morals and the principles of democracy? Or is this selective democracy? I have a fundamental problem with that. And that's something that I felt on my heart to say, because I know y'all review these videos, so I know y'all gonna hear it, and y'all gonna have to just do better, man. Don't sit here and just suspend people and put people in a temporary state, in a volatile state, when they're following all the rules. I could understand if he came out and did something that was flagrant and he broke the community guidelines. He didn't do that. Mm-hmm. So if he didn't do that, why are you putting him on the shelf? Come on, man. That's not right. And it has to be talked against.
But it's kind of like what they did with Kanye. They ain't like the fact that Kanye's fighting for his children and people said something about him, so he said something back. So they said, oh, he broke a community guideline. Mm-hmm. But there's songs on YouTube right now where NBA young boys talk about killing Lil Durk in real life.
Yep.
Why does that song get to play?
Yeah, why does it get airplay?
But a post that you don't like could come down, but black people could talk about killing black people all day, and there's nothing wrong with that. To y'all let that rock. But as soon as a black person say something you don't like, you just take down the video.
Yep.
Yep.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. If y'all don't rush to get this extra $8, at least close us out by $100. Boxing Conversations are tabled for 6 months. We tabling that shit for 6 months. I ain't playing with y'all, man. We had 92. We need to hit that $100 threshold. We got 5 people listening. Somebody needs to donate $10 more so we can keep this conversation alive. Otherwise, we're going to keep talking about what we are passionate about talking about, which is this topic. So before we end, we need to see one more $10 donation. I don't care if it's spread it out by 10 people. I don't care if it's 5 people, $2 each. I don't give a flying 2 cows, you know what. But we're going to get this $10 donation. If we don't see it, if we hit this in broadcast and we walking away with 92, then y'all tabled up for 6 months. And you guys know me. When I say something, I live by my damn word.
Mm-hmm.
So any closing thoughts, Ross?
Now, man, this was another great conversation, and what a lot of people come on here and what they don't realize is this platform is for you as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To speak as well on the topic. When you want us to start deviating from the topic, that's where the donations come in at.
Yep.
But for you to come on here, say how you feel on the topic. Don't just listen. Say how you feel about the topic at hand. You know what I'm saying? So you could add to the conversation. Because really, this is a place for you guys to be able to speak and say things that you won't be able to say anywhere else because there's no safe space to talk for Black people.
Facts.
For Black men.
Facts.
For Black men, there's no safe place to talk.
Facts. Ross hit that point so eloquently, and he's absolutely right. This is a place for you to freely share, and we don't mind you guys freely sharing the conversational piece based on the topic at hand. Then and only then, we won't put your comment up because you're not donating to motivate, but we will speak it out loud because out of respect, you are in context with the topic at hand. You are in context with the subject line, and you're paying attention, you're listening. But like I said, before I hit this end broadcast, I don't play. I better get that $10 donation. We ain't playing over here. $10 more for this boxing to survive. Otherwise, this thing's getting tabled up until Spence fight Ugas. I'm telling you this right now. Until Spence fight Ugas, I ain't talking this shit no more. Ross ain't talking this shit no more. We're gonna talk the conversation we want to talk.
Yep. But yeah, man, it's been another great one, man.
Mm-hmm. Damn right.
It's great one. I feel like we touched on a lot of pertinent topics. Left people with things to think about.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't went and checked it out, check out the new Atlanta series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. That's another thing they fucked me up on because Wednesday is my hot day, and now I'm gonna miss one of my hot days. But that's all right, because I'm coming back with a vengeance.
Man, you're gonna come back stronger than ever. I got my hand on that end broadcast. Listen, y'all, I'm telling you one more time before I do this. $10 more. If we don't get that $10 more that creep up in here before I hit that $10, before I hit that end broadcast, that's it. Y'all starved. Y'all gonna be completely starved of boxing conversation, and we're gonna focus on what we want to focus on completely. So I'm giving y'all a 10-second countdown. 9. I'm gonna slow it down. 8. 7. 6. We got 3 people here. Somebody better hit that 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Okay, y'all test my fucking patience. We got 6 months until the only boxing conversation we're gonna talk about is Spence and Ugas. Y'all test my fucking patience. Y'all playing with me. We ain't talking boxing no more until Spence versus Ugas. Y'all be easy. Peace.